Hello and welcome. My name is Crash, and this is the second episode of the Big Tree podcast. And with me, I have my friends. One of them, my name is Doofy, and the other one, my name is POXAL'S. And today we're gonna be doing two more 3x3s. We're gonna be looking at our 9 favorite manga, and our 9 favorite anime. So by reverse order, though, we're gonna start with anime. And yeah, do you guys want to say something before we jump in?
Yo!
My name is Narufi.
Narufi went all out for this episode, just for you guys.
Look at this, guys.
You guys should subscribe just for that. Now, there is one thing I wanted to say. I am shocked at the support on our last episode. Like, I was not expecting that. So just a massive thank you to everybody who watched the last episode, supported the channel before we even posted a video. Crash did a post on Twitter where it was just our channel with nothing on it, and it already had 30 subs, and then from there we had 100 subs and there was nothing on our channel. It was just a blank channel, and we already had 100 subscribers, which was absolutely insane. So just a massive thank you to our audience before we hop onto this.
Yeah, we are nothing.
Want to watch. Sorry, I interrupted you. But
no,
especially for everyone that watched the first video and is now watching the second.
Yeah. Because as we're recording this, it's one day after the first episode was uploaded, and the first episode almost has 300 views, which is really insane for 24 hours. That's almost as much views as we each get on our normal content.
Yeah.
I'd say
that's the power of friendship. Damn it! It's the power of friendship.
Nay, it's the power of family.
Yeah.
My Nakama. All right, folks. Let's get the show on the road. No.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start with the anime, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Which one of you wants to start? Because I feel like my list was going to be very underwhelming. Or we can start with mine because of that.
Yeah, let's start with Crashes, because we started with the host last time.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a good principle.
Let me just drop it on the chat then.
I have a feeling it's just gonna be the only 9 anime you've watched.
It's not, but it could have easily been, because the thing is, most of my stuff is either movies or childhood stuff.
This isn't underwhelming. This is actually lit.
Well,
you wouldn't expect somebody to put these in their top 9 favorite anime.
Yeah,
I feel like that's kind of the thing, right? Because I've only watched so little, so other than the top 3, I guess the rest.
I was expecting Doofy to have Yu-Gi-Oh GX up there, but I wasn't expecting you to have Doraemon or anything like that. So it's just an interesting surprise, or Digimon.
Yeah, the Digimon caught me off by guard.
Yeah.
What's the expression?
So I told you guys that I was doing some changes before the episode started, and those were the 2 changes I did, because I had what was it? I think I had Summer Wars. This one has Summer Wars. So I had Spirited Away, which I removed just because I felt like I already had Princess Mononoke. So just one.
You removed the wrong Ghibli film.
You removed the wrong Ghibli. Yeah.
Damn.
You removed the superior Ghibli film. Was it just too good for your list?
Yeah. No,
By the looks of it, yeah, he's got fucking Steins Gate on here, bro. Yeah, it was too good for his list.
I'll think about it. And I don't remember what was the other one I removed, but it was another movie. Oh, it was a Silent Voice.
Great choice. It didn't belong there. It was too mid.
It was too amazing.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
The manga.
The manga's there?
Yeah. The manga is not on my top 9, but I feel like the manga is better than the anime, so it kind of felt wrong having the anime there when I feel like it's not the superior version of it. As a matter of fact, it's my least favorite version of it. Even though I like all of them, I feel like the manga and the one shot are both a little bit better than the movie.
No, I agree, and I think it's just all because the movie cuts out so much content that the manga has. The manga is filled and enriched with all these great side character stories with his childhood, which is very important for later on, and the movie just kind of brushes over that. It's almost like the movie's telling a different story. It doesn't mean the movie isn't great. I think me and you can both agree that the movie's amazing. It's just compared to the manga, it has nothing on the manga.
Yeah, I agree. But the manga didn't reach the top 9 though. But it's up there. It's not a 10. It's not a 10 out of 10 for me. So it's a very high 9. But probably like top 20, I guess. But yeah, onto the ones that are on the list. We start with Steins Gate, which I feel it's one of the last anime I've actually watched. And I watched this when it was ongoing.
Oh shit! Old head alert.
And, yeah, it was one of the last anime I've watched, so that should tell you a lot.
When was Steins Gate ongoing?
2011, wasn't it?
2011, I think. Yeah.
You need to watch more anime.
I don't think he does.
No. There's one anime I watched. There's actually like 2 anime I watched afterwards. One is on the list as well.
But I thought you were becoming Anime Crash, not Manga Crash.
No, it's 2022. We're not watching anime anymore. Anime is over in 2022. It's the year of manga. It's the decade of manga.
I don't think my channel would have popped up as much as it did in like other years because manga has just been popping like since 2020, I'd say. People have just been getting so much into manga. But yeah, that I don't know. I just love saying. I just love time travel stories in general. I also love like the Butterfly Effect movie and things like that. And just I don't know. Steins Gate just hits that, and the final part is just so good. Like I feel like a lot of people would like Steins Gate don't get to the final half.
Correct.
And I understand why. I understand, like, I get when people say, like, oh, it wasn't too good for me to reach episode 9, so why would I? I kind of get that because I found it enjoyable till episode 9 anyways. Otherwise, it wouldn't be up here. But it is that final, like, segment that's just so fucking good.
It saves Steins Gate, in my opinion. Like, I enjoyed the previous stuff, but I get why somebody like Doofy doesn't like it as much. I can't remember, like, I think it's like, it's nowhere close to my top 9. Like, that's way too high. But
I just love it. Again, I love time travel stories, so it just tackles a special place. And I haven't seen any other time travel anime other than maybe the Rayman, which is also in here. So.
Watch Erased. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Erased is a time travel anime.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he read it though.
No, I haven't.
Oh wait, I thought you said
we talked about this last episode, did we? Didn't we?
I could have sworn last episode you said you'd watched it. I feel like I'm being gaslit now.
We are being gaslit, Doofy, but we're always being
gaslit. Watch it.
POXAL, do you remember? Do you remember him saying he read Erased? No, maybe it was Barakamon I'm thinking of.
I did. Yeah, I read Barakamon. I did not read or watch Erased.
It reminds me, my Erased manga came in like 2 days ago.
Oh, nice.
Pretty lit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you get all of it, or
all of Erased? All but Volume 1, because Volume 1 was $100. I'm waiting for the reprint.
Nice.
Yeah. Is there gonna be a reprint?
I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I feel about a lot of manga.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Moving to FLCL or Furikuri or whatever you want to call it. I like over the top stuff, so that's kind of why I love FLCL. It is just like the perfect level of insanity, and like if you watch it a bunch of times, you can get all the like deeper meaning of the manga and of the anime. I mean, and like the coming of age story and everything. But even on a first view, and even just taking it on face value, it's just so fun. Like the characters are fun, the art style is fun, like everything is just hilarious. I actually made some of my friends watch it. They don't watch anime, not very often, and because all 6 episodes clock at like 2.5 hours or something. I just told them like just think of it. We're gonna binge watch this, but just think of it as like a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah, it's basically a movie. Like just the way it flows is like it feels like one set piece, which I really like.
Yeah, so I just sat them down. We watched all of it, and I loved it. And they're not really like very animation kind of guys. So yeah, it's just great. And I've watched it a bunch of times. So, and I got my horrible pop figure, which people hate.
Why do they hate it?
No, yeah, I mean, like, Fooly Cooly is like a series that I love, but I always forget exists. Like, I think it wasn't in my top 100 video I did with Doofy because I forgot it existed.
Oh, jeez. It's a bit of a blunder. I think, yeah, Fully Cooley is really brilliant.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, it really is so over the top. Like, I love all those Guy Next kind of shows. Like, you also have Gurren Lagann there. I like it for the same reason. Kill la Kill is made by a lot of people from Guy Next, even though it's Studio Trigger. I mean, even Ava's slightly different, but it does still have this kind of over-the-topness about it in certain respects.
Yeah.
Just not in the artistic over-the-topness of, like, Fully Cooley. So I get it, dude. Fully Cooley is...
The art style is great, too. Like, oh my gosh. It's just, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Fully Cooley is brilliant. It is... I love it. I really want to rewatch it. I think I watched it for the first time, like, 8 months ago or 7 months ago. And it was a journey. It was a ride.
And
I recommend it to anyone.
Yeah.
Not even been a year.
Crash, I was making my top 100 in like 30 minutes or like an hour.
I've been working on mine for like weeks now. Damn.
Yeah. You know,
I
do
look
my
back.
like I just use the scores that I have on like on your list. I just go by that. Like
Yep. Same.
it's easier. You don't forget anything.
Well,
like
I
that.
made a new list or something. I don't think I added Fully Cooley.
Oh.
All right.
I think that's actually why I forgot about it.
That's a damn shame. Yeah, I think another part of the magic of Fully Cooley for me is that, like, I always found that because of how wacky it was kind of like a blank slate for people to just project whatever meaning they wanted onto it. More so than a lot of other shows, because it's the way it's composed is just much more... It is much more abstract. It is much more, like, all over the place and chaotic. And I think that chaos lends itself to the viewer just, like, finding the perfect way to like bound it all up in their own little meaning, and I think that's why it means so much to so many people. But I think what I like about it though is like the artistic direction behind it, which is so interesting. I'm the guy that's always like fuck the author, right? But with Fully Cooley, a lot of the charm of it is in like the writer's kind of creative process. Like it was literally, if you look into any of the interviews behind Fully Cooley, it was just like their passion project. Like he put in the fucking Vespa because he saw a Vespa. And he's like, I want to put a Vespa in anime. He's like, I really like baseball, so let's put this baseball part into it. And I think all of that comes together in a really unique way. And I think that's why the sequels don't hit for me. It doesn't have that same kind of like chaotic passion that's all bound up in like one man's mind, you know, with that one unified vision. They just feel like they kind of want to have the appearance of that chaos, but like structure it in something a little more simple and digestible, and I think that takes away from what Fully Cooley did so well.
Another thing with Fully Cooley, I feel like it really like kind of like what you were saying, where it's like art and just so random. Like in my opinion, it's like the definition of art. Like if you try to look for something that like has like a meaning of art, like Fully Cooley is kind of like if I remember as this, Fully Cooley is kind of what I think of because of like the randomness aspect and how it feels literally like a passion project where it's just like whatever the heck I want to put, I'm putting in there. It's gonna be my dream story. This is art.
I haven't
see it.
I haven't actually saw the sequels yet. I'm not sure if I
haven't either.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna to, because so many people have been saying bad things about it. So I'm not sure. But yeah, also this manga, or this anime, we've talked about my main character 3x3 that I like a lot of dumb characters. FLCL is that in anime form. Is that energy in anime form?
Yeah, quite literally.
So yeah. And with same energy is Taken Topical Gurren Lagann, which again is by the same studio. This one I haven't watched in so long that I kind of forgot a lot of the things. I'm gonna be honest. Like I'm pretty sure I watched this like 2009, something like that.
Damn.
So it's been a while. But I remember the thing that I remember is I think it's episode 7, where a certain character dies. That was like, especially that early on in my anime and manga journey, I guess. It really affected me. It was really like one of the first moments in anime that I was really, really invested in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that. Again, it's also over the top, like Fully Cooley, in a little bit of a different way. It's more cohesive, but it's also like the way it hamps up to the final battle, which is just still one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, where they're fucking throwing galaxies at each other like
Yeah.
frisbees. It's just so nutty.
I just love it.
Yeah, it definitely does have much more, yeah, like you said, cohesion versus say like Fooly Cooley. I think some people are critical because of that. I think because it tries to mix like the over the topness with a kind of coherent narrative, it ends up getting these like little plot holes here and there, and people are really critical of those. But I don't know. I feel like to focus on like those little issues is to kind of miss the bigger picture of Fooly or fucking. Not Fully Cooley, but Gurren Lagann. You know what I mean? I don't know. To me, it's really like a package experience where it's not something I'm looking so analytically at each little point to kind of dissect like that. I don't know if this is the kind of anime that benefits from that because of just how chaotic it is. I mean, like if we were to just think about that scene of Kamiya pulling out his sword that goes on for like 20,000 years and apparently just has the world's longest sword. Like, yeah, of course the sword's not actually that long, and they're really trying to emphasize like the severity of the situation or whatever. Who cares how the scene panned out? Like, I don't know. Like, to me, those are such nitpicks they don't take away from the package deal, I guess.
I totally agree. I think this is like an issue that kind of Twitter as a large has kind of created. You kind of more so because like I feel like people have become so overly critical of stuff that they oversight the real meaning of art. If you know what I mean. Like, it should be more passion driven, more like is it fun? Like, for example, like one of the series I'm planning on reading is Goodnight, Punpun. I'm really excited to read that, but I hear how depressing, how twisted, how dark it is, and how it's not going to be a fun read. But
Yeah.
I feel like I want to read it just because I like stories that are like that are dark and twisted. I find those to be enticing, and I find those to be fun to analyze. But not every series has to be like that. Like, there should be like those series that are just like fun that you don't need to like think while you're watching, you know? I mean, you can still think while you're watching, but I don't know. I just feel like as a large, the community has become so overly critical of stuff to where like half the time I don't even think they're having fun watching said thing.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think I've done like 3 rants of that sort in my channel.
Yeah.
So I 100% agree. With Goodnight Punpun, like, I don't know. A lot of people are like, "Oh, this is not a manga to be enjoyed." I kind of disagree with that. I feel like, yeah, sure, it's dark, and when I read it for the second time, I got like very melancholic for about a week for no other reason other than just having finished it and being like completely devastating. But it's still an enjoyable journey, I guess, in different ways. For sure. I'm not sure if it's on my 3x3. I forgot.
I have the first 2 volumes being shipped to me right now. So
I got so lucky because I bought the entirety of Punpun right before it started getting out of stock. So I managed to get it all without problems, without paying. But most of them I actually paid, like, got them on sale and stuff like that.
Nice.
yeah, aren't they just like really thick normal volumes?
Yeah.
They're 2 volumes in one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to show you, but...
Yeah, right now they're completely in stock, and I'm debating whether I should just buy all 7 of them or just buy like the first 2 and see if I like it.
Definitely recommend like buying maybe the first 2. They're like this. I really like them. There's a lot of like omnibuses that I don't like how they look. Like my Lavina omnibuses are horrible. But this one's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it has a beautiful like matte finish that I absolutely love. It's very comfortable to hold.
Yeah, what I like if you get all the volumes is you can see that the first volumes are very colorful and the last ones are not. And that kind of reflects how the manga goes.
Yeah.
I feel like that's so smart.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Oh, that we're talking about my list, right?
That's okay. Goodnight Punpun can be talked about. This is
yeah.
the Big Three podcast. We're the king of tangents.
Amen.
Yeah.
It's our best feature.
Yeah.
We can't stay on topic for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, that's Gurren Lagann. So, Princess Mononoke. Yeah, I like the reason why I like Spirited Away almost as much as I like Princess Mononoke. Both of them were movies that I watched as a kid, I guess. When they like, I guess more or less when they came out, because my dad had a bunch of like DVD collections, which are going to be very important when we eventually do our 3x3 movies. But two of them were Princess Mononoke and Spirited Away. And like when I first watched Princess Mononoke, it was just so different than everything I'd watched till then. Because you gotta understand, I was like 10, like maybe not 10, but like 11, 12 maximum.
Yeah.
Like I had not seen any anime, or I didn't even knew what anime was. Like I saw on the DVD bonuses that, you know, this was Japanese and apparently the animation in Japan was a bit different. But I did not like knew what anime was. Even I didn't even knew like that I've been watching anime because I watched Dragon Ball, Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, Card Capture, Sakura, Digimon, like so many stuff that I knew that it was anime. And even like Miyazaki other stuff, because I had watched as a kid Idea of the Hops, which is by, well, it's not by Miyazaki, but he worked on it. And I did not knew like any of that was related to Princess Mononoke. But even that, like, it felt like so just out there, so different than any other like animated stuff I'd ever seen. I was just so attracted to it. And like Spirited Away, it's clearly like by the same person, it's clearly like on the same vein, but there was, I don't know, just Mononoke was just a little bit different than even Spirited Away. It was a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more ruthless, a little bit like the final part of it when they behead the god, like that part is just so beautiful.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's kind of why it is like top 3 favorite movies of all time to me. Spirited Away is really close to that, but I don't know, I just like Mononoke a little bit more.
I think I almost have like the opposite experience with Mononoke because I never watched it until like much later in life. Like I think I only watched it last year or the year before, and by that point I'd become so numb to that like society versus nature kind of debate. Like even that's such a, to me, a tired discussion, and I'm not convinced that Mononoke contributes to that in any meaningful way. I mean, I gotta appreciate, like you said, like some of those later scenes, like it's kind of ruthlessness with kind of approaching this, especially for like a Miyazaki film. So I think within that context, it's kind of interesting. But the story just felt like so typical to me, and especially by like Ghibli standards, it kind of lacked the imagination of something like Spirited Away, where like every nook and cranny of that hotel was like really explored and so lively, and just it totally drew me in. Whereas I didn't have that same kind of immersion with Princess Mononoke. So I'd almost become numb, I guess, by the time I got to Mononoke. So maybe, I don't know. I'm not so sure that I would have had a different reception had I seen it earlier, but for me, Spirited Away, I think, still takes the crown for Miyazaki's best. But that's just because what I value in those films is just how creative and imaginative they are, which I at least think that Mononoke is kind of lacking in.
Yeah, but I feel like that's one of the things that makes Spirited Away so great. You know, because like you take like the concepts. I'm not talking about Mononoke, but Spirited Away at least. Like for example, some of the stuff we said about Fooly Cooly and Gurren Lagann, like it's kind of like the definition of art in the sense is it's literally, it feels like it's just a passion project because like there's so many absurd things in Spirited Away that are just like thrown at you that are like just so imaginative. Like when the parents get turned into pigs for eating food, for example.
Yeah.
Like that's so random, but like it's so good when watching it, you know. And there's just way more, but like I feel like maybe that's just something like I know like you value it, Crash, because you of course have Fooly Cooley up there, you have Gurren Lagann there, but I think that's just one thing maybe me and Doofy like are more towards. We're like more geared towards like if it's like random, it's amazing in a sense.
I honestly think it just a lot of it has to do with me having watched Princess Mononoke first.
Okay.
And being like the intros to anime movies, to Miyazaki, to everything, which is just a little bit more special than Spirited Away was,
Fair.
I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question for you. If you could have two films, because you said you took out away Spirited Away because you had Mononoke there. If you could have two Ghibli films, do you think Spirited Away would make it to the top 9?
Yeah, Spirited Away was on the top 9. I just changed
Yeah.
it last hour, so yeah, most
Okay.
definitely. I think those my me is Ghibli movie title list is a little bit basic. It's Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, and then Howls. I think that's like the trilogy, the best part. Yeah.
I like Ponyo a lot.
I never finished Ponyo.
Ponyo is amazing.
I liked
Ponyo, fishy in the
but I never
sea.
finished it. Yeah,
Like Kiki's, that's my like resident third pick.
Kiki.
Yeah.
Kiki's great.
Like I have
like-
Ponyo above Princess Mononoke, not gonna lie.
I respect it. I love it.
Because
You know
like
what?
Ponyo's a lot like Spirited Away in the sense that it's like completely different, but it's a lot very similar because it's just so bloody random. Like
Yeah.
and like animation wise, it's just artistically beautiful. Like, but yeah.
Ponyo, fishy in the sea. I rest my case.
My random pick of like unknown Ghibli movie that I really like is Arrietty, because that's actually my girlfriend's favorite movie. Is Arrietty. It's a little bit like Totoro, I guess, but it's not Miyazaki. It's not a Miyazaki movie, but it's probably like the best non-Miyazaki Ghibli movie out there. It's like about a bunch of little like people, I guess, like this size that live inside a house of normal-sized people. It's fun.
I think though the crown of all the Ghibli films for me is Grave of the Fireflies, because man,
I actually haven't seen Grave of the Fireflies
I forgot.
yet.
Oh shit! I forgot that was Ghibli too.
yeah, not Miyazaki, but that one just
man,
knocks me
yeah,
out.
yeah.
There's just, I think it
Yeah,
has
yeah,
the
yeah.
most. I'm not gonna spoil anything for POXAL'S, but it just has like the most, like gut-wrenchingly sad scene I think in all of anime.
All
I
of everything.
just in all of everything. Like I really just want to even just mention it, but I think everyone knows what I'm talking about.
About like a war that takes place and two people like reunite or something.
Yeah.
I remember like it made Watch Mojo's top 10 saddest anime thing.
Yeah, because it's about two kids in World War II.
Just trying to survive on
Just
their
by
own.
that, yeah, just
and
by
they
that,
like reunite by the end or something.
yeah.
Anyways,
Someone dies,
is-
maybe. I don't know.
God, it is just
is,
fucking
like-
gut wrenching.
Yeah. I watched it with my girlfriend. I watched most Ghibli movies with my girlfriend. She was completely bawling by the end of it.
Yeah.
I don't like. I think the only time I've seen her cry so much over like a show was Stranger Things season 3.
What?
Yeah. Which, if you see, I think she was just super invested in a certain character that was supposed to die, and then it's a fake out that. So they like.
Oda must
kill-
wrote that.
kill the
Oh
character.
my gosh!
They
I
kill the
forgot about
character.
that.
Yeah, they kill him on the fucking last episode, and she was bawling for most of the episode, and then at the end they reveal that he's not dead, and she was like screaming at the television like "Fuck you! Return my tears back!"
I like that.
Just so fun.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah.
Now. It wasn't sad to me, but I didn't
Yeah.
cry. But I can get why she would cry. She was like
She-
really invested in him.
She was like super invested, and she cries very often with shows. I just like I made her watch Grave of the Fireflies because of that. I just kind of want to see Like,
You want to see your girlfriend cry?
I just make like the saddest video. What I want to see is like if she cries or not. That's always my question: is will she cry?
What?
That's why I kind of
What?
I couldn't make her watch Gurren Lagann and see if she cries. But yeah, I don't know. I'm twisted.
You love to see it. Anyways,
no, you know what it is. I just like. I don't cry with movies, but I can get like really, really sad and really depressed. I love those emotions. I love when a movie or a show or something makes me like really sad. I guess I'm just trying to give that to my girlfriend.
The thing with me though is like I'll get like really emotional while watching something. Sometimes I'll cry, but a lot of the times I cry when I think about randomly at like 10 p.m. I'll just be thinking of the movie I just watched, and it'll just like click in my brain. And I'll be like, oh my gosh.
dude, I'd be crying at just like anything, dog. Like I'm watching Boruto and like just the most stupid little cute moment between Sarada and Sakura, and I'm just like bawling. Like I'm just too like this. I'm just too invested in it. Like I'm so sensitive to little things that happen in that universe that I will cry at the drop of a hat. I guess I don't know.
Would you cry if Naruto died?
Absolutely, bro. You kidding me?
That's Naruto.
I think I can count on one hand the amount of Naruto deaths that didn't make me cry.
Did Neji make you cry?
Yes. I still think it's a stupid death, but I did cry.
Fair.
I can't control my emotions, but when I put on the thinking hat, I'm like, why that motherfucker had to die, though?
You know, Neji's death is actually kind of funny because I had no idea it happened, despite how like it's mentioned so much in the community.
Yeah.
I was just sitting there in a stream with Sensei Inc., one of my good friends, and he was just like talking to me, and randomly like the conversation came up where somebody was like, "Yeah, Neji's death was really stupid."
Yeah.
I was like, "Wait, Neji dies?"
Yeah.
And it was just the funniest scene ever because like. Just my shock when I said that, because at that time I was in Chunin exams watching it, rewatching it, because I couldn't remember the series very well. So I decided I was gonna do a big rewatch, and Neji was my favorite character. He's not my favorite character anymore, but he was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I really liked Neji. I thought he was really cool. He gave me a lot of like Byakuya vibes, which I really liked. And so I was just shocked, and it was just funny because I had no idea.
And to find he died for nothing.
So well known. Oh yeah, no, I watched the death right after I heard about it, and it was really stupid.
Yeah, it's like bro did not need to die there. I'm kind of glad that he died though. I mean, I think he was a good candidate for someone to die. I do wish he went out a better way, but I think the way that plays into like the family dynamic in Boruto. Sorry, Boruto's on my mind right now, so you're gonna hear that a lot today. Just the way that like Hinata talks to like Himawari and Boruto about their uncle Neji and her life as a Hyuga when they were younger, when just socially the Leaf was different because everyone back in the day was expected to become a ninja, and Hinata's father was so strict. I don't know. So the way that they kind of talk about Neji as like this mystical figure to Boruto and Himawari, I don't know, kind of gives him this little aura about him in the series that I think I can appreciate a little more now that I'm more distant from the stupidity of his death.
I do feel like that Neji went out very stupidly, but he also feels like, for some reason, I feel like Neji's progression and strength just isn't there.
Oh no, they fucking stopped caring about him in Shippuden entirely. Like 90% of like the side cast,
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I always felt like he was like supposed to be like the Sasuke for Rock Lee's group. Like he was like the Sasuke of the Rock Lee group, essentially. And he was always like very gifted. And I feel like the story gets it very twisted as time goes on, and he just becomes like this character that's like irrelevant, and like even trying to make him seem relevant while he's irrelevant isn't there, if that makes sense. Like strength wise, like Sasuke could flick his finger and Neji would die.
Well, that's I mean, to be fair, Sasuke could flick his finger and most characters in that verse die, but
no, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, as somebody who was supposed to be so powerful and
the role,
was stronger
okay,
than him initially, like his role just like he doesn't progress power wise like at all. Like I feel like I literally like I doubt it's this bad, but I literally feel like Neji in his death scene is the same strength as Neji in Konoha Peak. Like that's how I feel. I know it's not true. But that's how the story makes me feel.
That's fair. I mean, I think that Neji's progression of strength is probably like above average for just an average ninja, but it's because the story focuses on all like these hacks characters like Naruto and Sasuke that are just like getting these insane power-ups by the end of Shippuden, like time and time again. And we get like Madara, so like it's easy to forget that like 99% of the world are like normal ninja. I still think Neji's a cut above most, but it's just again perspective because of how they frame it around these big powerful characters. But no, it's such a fair critique. Like Shippuden forgets about all of the original cast. Like it just does. Everyone recognizes it. Yeah, it's sad.
Especially if you take like the 5 Kage Summit, for example, when all the Kage are getting together, and like you see all these like henchmen. Like you think like Neji would be of that level, like as like those like henchman level characters, but like those henchman level characters are so much superior to Neji.
That's interesting. I've never even thought about that. I'm gonna have to enlist Ronan after this to tell me how Neji scales to like the side men at the five Kage Summit, because I don't know. I can't tell. I feel like Neji might be comparable, but I don't know power scaling, so he could actually be way weaker or way stronger.
Exactly.
How the fuck do we get on Naruto?
we're talking about Princess Mononoke. That's all I know.
I don't know. Like, I don't actually understand how we got here this time.
I just realized, guys, it's been 38 minutes.
Oh,
and
God.
we're not even halfway through Crash's first list.
Oh, yeah. Damn. Okay, so moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know. I can do just the next two together, I guess, because it's Rayman and Digimon. And those are like my childhood anime, I guess. I really love Digimon. This is like specific. I put Digimon here, I don't know, because these two are, I feel like they are the two that I remember the most. And the reason for it is because I watched Digimon. Later, like in my teens, I rewatched it on YouTube. The Portuguese dub.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wait. So for Portuguese, I have a question for you two. Was it like, because I know from America's standpoint, what we had to do is we had like 8 parts, and like one of the random parts was Espanol. So like we'd be watching like part 1 of English dubbed Naruto, and then we have to, for episode 1, so it'd be like episode 1 part 1, episode 1 part 2, episode 1 part 3, and then you couldn't find episode 1 part 4. So you had to watch episode 1 part 4 in Espanol. Yeah.
I don't like. I feel like I never had that problem, but I think the only anime I've watched in Portuguese on YouTube was Digimon. It just because I kind of wanted to watch it, and I remembered the dub being good, so I wanted to watch it with the dub. It wasn't. It really wasn't. Tai sounds like an adult man, and was it Mimi? Mimi sounds like a little baby that swallowed the helium balloon. It's very horrible. And that voice actor does a lot of voices, and whenever I listen to her, it just annoys me. It's always just annoying. But I watched it, and I don't know. I loved Digimon as a kid. Like everyone was a Pokemon guy. But I guess because I really love the concept of Pokemon. I wanted to have a Game Boy so I could play the games.
Yeah.
But my parents would never buy me Pokemon. Like the first Pokemon game I bought was Pokemon Moon.
Oh.
Having in mind, I was asking my parents for Pokemon back when like Gold was released.
I was a Yu-Gi-Oh kid. I was never Pokemon or a Digimon.
I was both. I mean, I was a Yu-Gi-Oh kid because I played Yu-Gi-Oh, and like Digimon, I never played any of the games.
I think that's one of the pitfalls of
you.
Oh, it seems we're at a standoff.
You were the Yu-Gi-Oh kid until you got bullied.
That's what I also wanted to say too. I wanted to say, you were the Yu-Gi-Oh kid until Weevil Underwood bullied your ass.
Yeah, Weevil Underwood took all your rare cards.
But I
By the way,
think
all my cards were bootlegged.
even better.
I didn't had I don't think I had any official Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
I love that.
Um,
You want to
and
know a little fun fact about me as a kid? I always wanted fake Yu-Gi-Oh cards because I always saw people do like videos online of them getting fake Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I was so jealous. I'm like, I want fake Yu-Gi-Oh cards. What the fuck? I finally got some a little later in life, but yeah, you were living my childhood dream, Crash. You got fake Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
The fake Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Oh,
They were so weird. Because like there were Yu-Gi-Oh cards, fake Yu-Gi-Oh cards that were like the same, like this exact same as normal. But then there were the weird ones. There were like trap cards and magic cards with attack powers, which made no sense. And then there were like Yu-Gi-Oh cards which were the exact same, except they had like 2 or 3x zeros in the attack and defense power. So it was like a 3 ball, I don't know, monster, 3-star monster. And then they had like 50 or 500 attack damage. It is so random.
Okay.
Did you guys ever like grab like your old Yu-Gi-Oh cards and like print out a little picture and put on top and tape it?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, I 100% did.
No.
Yeah. Listen, I had a few fake Slifer's back in the day.
I grabbed all 3 of the Egyptian gods and I put them like over
Yep.
like 3 common cards.
I had
was
the
like-
3.
I was calling my friend. I was like, "Dude, I just got all 3 Egyptian cards in 1 booster pack." I'm just like, I just, and he was like, "How?" I was like, "I just believed in the heart of the cards."
I remember when I did that, it was around the time the Curse of Anubis movie was coming out in America, and one of my older friends convinced me that the cards, because they were like, they gave it like a promotional packs of cards for that movie, and in them you got like, I'm pretty sure you just got all of like the cards. No, I think I'm wrong. I think I'm straight wrong. But anyways, he had like the Princess Talea or whatever, like the 3 Sphinxes were, Andro Sphinx and the combined version of them, and he somehow convinced me that they were better than my my god cards, and he convinced me to trade them. And I mean, in game they're obviously not better, like at all. They're dog shit cards. But I think the fact that I finessed those 3 cards with my 3 fake god cards was a bit of a W on my part. Yeah. So I don't know who really lost at the end of the day.
I had the boot. It's because with bootleg cards, with fake cards, rarity does not matter. So I had a bunch of legitimate god cards. I did not had to do anything to get them. They just came in the booster packs. But what I did was they were sold. I don't know. I actually been meant to ask this to anyone that doesn't live in Portugal. We have like what we call Chinese stores because they generally like Chinese people working there, and they call things like China store and whatever. All of them, and we have like almost one per street, which just sells like bootleg stuff. There's a lot of them. So yeah, I just went to those stores, and normally I would just get like random booster cards. Or not booster cards. There was no booster cards. We get decks for like €2. They're full on decks.
Oh yeah, believe you me, there were no packs. We were buying the whole damn thing.
That's like you go to the store and you're like, "I'll take your store."
Yeah. And what we did was like there was like boxes full of like decks that you could just like open. So you just looked at the cards that you wanted and then just build a deck, and nobody gives a shit because you're still kind of paying for it anyways. So you just get like all the good cards. Everyone had the good cards.
I love that.
Yeah, they were all fake though. So
they're real to you, damn it.
Them. Yeah, they were. I couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah, America doesn't really have that. At least where I'm at. We have a lot of like online stores that we have access to that will ship like items from China that are bootleg. But I think like we do have bootleg stuff here. Don't get me wrong. Like there's bootleg AirPods, but like we don't have like a ton of stores every mile around us that is filled with bootleg. I think like it's just America's copyright like chops down on that more.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
Oh my god.
And I live in rural Canada, so I just have nothing.
You don't have a store 50 miles from you.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, listen, the town I grew up in had a Walmart. That was the craziest shit ever. Everyone on the coast used to come to our town to go to Walmart and go to McDonald's.
Can I go on another tangent? I'm getting 2 seconds. I'm gonna get my girlfriend's bootleg Dragon Ball figures that she got from those stores because there was some
45.
Yeah, we're 45 minutes in this.
holy shit.
And now we're talking about bootleg Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Like this was the toys we'd get. Like, everyone had this shit. Like Trunks, I guess.
How much are these?
I don't know.
Trunks, I guess. Was he blonde?
I guess.
I love those. I would have so much. I had so many like cheap Naruto figures, but they
This
didn't.
one's actually. I think this one is kind of cool.
Oh, I like
It
that,
doesn't
actually.
focus as well. This one.
Yeah. No,
It's
I'm with
official,
it.
boys. Or Bleach, Naruto, and Dragon Ball.
Oh my god, no, the best one. You guys are not fucking ready for this.
Bro's balding. Oh my god. Premature hair loss is a real problem among Saiyans. Oh god.
This is how it looks without hair.
Oh god,
This
that's a
was
good
just
one.
the thing. Like we all like. I don't know if we all like rich
Dragon
people probably got.
Ball, Dragon Ball Super Senior Home. 40 years.
Oh god.
I don't know. Like, maybe the rich kids got like not non-bootleg figures, but certainly I didn't. No,
Well, I'll be damned.
I was talking about Digimon.
Yeah. I think the pitfall of Digimon was it didn't have a really good game early on to get people to stay longer. It had a great anime, but it didn't have no game. At least none that I remember.
Yeah, I know exactly how we got here.
Yeah, I know too.
Yeah.
I can think
I know.
of the way to thought.
I know it all too
But,
well.
But
Yeah, that was Digimon's biggest problem for sure, Doofy. Because like, you go to school and you're like, I play Yu-Gi-Oh, I play Pokemon. Nobody would say I play Digimon. Like,
yeah, that's true.
There was nothing to play. Like it had a coolish card game, but like it gained no traction.
No.
I
I
always
play,
thought.
I did hone it, the cards, but I never played them. I guess because I didn't have anyone to play with.
That's so
Exactly, because
sad.
nobody
So, yeah.
played it. But like
Yeah.
Digimon was like, I always like as a kid when I never watched Digimon as a kid. I watched it as a teenager, but as a kid I would never watch Digimon because I looked at it and I was like, that's just a ripoff of Pokemon.
So much better, like the story, the
Oh
characters.
no, I agree. But
Just that was kind of like my thing, because like Pokemon was just so basic in terms of like the storyline of the anime, and Digimon was, I don't know, there was like character development, there was like a true line, there was mystery, there was like when Greymon evolved into Skull Greymon, for example, that was like, it exploded my head as a kid. I was like,
yeah,
top moment of my childhood. Like that, like I love that. Other like anime that I liked as a kid as well, like for example Beyblade, which had toys. Like we all played Beyblade. Like the
Yeah.
first season of Beyblade had like such a good story, which was kind of ripped off by Naruto with Sasuke, because they had a. I forgot. I think it was Max. The name Max was basically like Sasuke of my childhood.
Okay, noted.
So, yeah, I would as a kid, I was a rascal. Like I would do anything to get out of trouble. So I did a lot of Beyblade. Like I did a ton of Beyblade tournaments. I went to them. I'd play in them. They were fun. Like that was like my thing as a kid. I went to this one birthday party that was a sleepover, and there was this kid that was playing Beyblades, and I did not like people touching my stuff. Like, it just pissed me off. So, when I was playing Beyblades, for him to reach his hand in there, grab my Beyblade, and toss it at me, I just full-on grabbed his shoulders tightly, and I said, if you ever touch my Beyblade again, I will hunt you down.
This motherfucker ready to activate his Bankai for real.
And then I got, like, in trouble, like, with, like, the mom there, because apparently I left marks.
Jesus,
And so,
you were
his
the
mom-
bully.
I wasn't the bully. He touched my stuff first, okay? Anyway. This is when I was like 8, by the way. I didn't know better. Anyway. His mom called my mom. She picked me up and she was like lecturing me, and I was like, I just lied to her. I was like, I pretend that Beyblades were real. I was like, Beyblades are real. He was hurting my Beyblade spirit. And she believed me. And she thought until until last year that I actually thought that as a kid.
Incredible.
Wow.
Another funny thing with Beyblades is I would always try to you know how in the show they'd reach out their hand and the Beyblades would come flying at them. I'd every time I played the game I'd reenact that. I'd reach out my hand and then with my other hand I'd pick it up and toss it so I could catch it.
You know, I'm starting to think we need an episode dedicated to these nostalgic anime because I had 1,000 just go through my head Battle Beatamon and fucking Bakugan and a million other anime like that and corresponding toys. So I think we got to put this convo on pause. Also,
yeah. I do condone 8-year-old Poxal, by the way. Me grabbing his shoulders wasn't right, but I was 8.
He was touching your stuff,
and he touched my stuff.
Yeah,
and I don't mess with that, but he was still in the wrong. I shouldn't have laid hands on.
True.
That other 8-year-old, that fellow 8-year-old.
Moral
that
development.
Fellow 8-year-old. Oh my gosh, that fellow 8-year-old is basically Crash's twin. He's like, I used to love Beyblades, but then somebody started beating me up when I played Beyblades.
In an alternate universe, you were the origin of Crash's Joker villain story.
Yeah,
exactly.
Jeez, ruthless.
I'm gonna see if I can finish my list. Doraemon is another childhood anime. I don't know. I don't think. I feel like most countries didn't get Doraemon, airing on television as a kid, and that is so sad. Because I don't know. It's so great. Everything had a formula. It was just so basic. Every episode, Nobita would get bullied, then he'd ask Doraemon for a random gadget to help him solve a problem. Doraemon would want to give him, but then he would, and then something would go horribly wrong, and then there was I guess a message of not trying to solve your problems the easy way. I guess that was the main message.
Is Doraemon just the Japanese version of Heathcliff?
I never saw Heathcliff.
I'm sorry.
Heathcliff is a dog, right?
No, Heathcliff is a cat.
Is a cat. Oh, I think I've seen it. I've seen images of it. Didn't hear in Portugal.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Just seeing Doraemon's character just reminded me of Heathcliff.
Well, Doraemon is supposed to be a cat.
I guess that's a good thing because they're both cats.
Yeah. I don't know. It's such an iconic thing in Japan that I feel like people lose a little bit when watching anime and manga. Because I find myself finding so many stuff that are there are Doraemon, and some of them are different takes on the formula. For example, Takopi is Doraemon. Takopi is just a kind of they grab the Doraemon formula. It is I cannot say that word. Blatantly.
Were you saying Takopi's original sin is
It's Doraemon. Yeah, it is 100% based on Doraemon. It's not even hiding it. It is supposed to be
I've never seen Doraemon, so I didn't know.
If you would, because it's the same thing. It's a creature comes from spoilers for Takopi, I guess.
Is it as dark as Takopi's original sin?
No, that's kind of the thing. Doraemon is very innocent.
Okay.
Takopi is we're gonna grab Doraemon's formula. We're gonna grab this formula that everyone in Japan is probably familiar with because everyone knows Doraemon, and we're just gonna corrupt it. And it's not the first anime or manga to do this. Inu Asano has a Doraemon one shot. Taiyo Matsumoto from Ping Pong has a Doraemon one shot. So that's kind of weird. But yeah, essentially Takopi is the whole thing of the Takopi giving the these magical items that can solve the problems to the main character, and the main character not wanting them is kind of supposed to not exactly mirror, well, I guess mirror, be the opposite of what happens in Doraemon, which the main character asks the character for these magical items. I don't know. I just feel like more people should check it out. I know it's like a big thing. Like it's a big anime. There's many anime adaptations. All of them have like 1.5 thousand episodes, so there's a lot of content. You're not gonna watch all of the content. There's like 40 or 50 movies, but it just like watching like some episodes of Rayman does wonders. Not only just to see like this fantastic like childhood anime, but also to understand a little bit more of the Japanese culture, especially in anime and manga. And
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna do a video on it now that I'm thinking about it.
I think you should.
I feel like I could do a video on this.
You're not allowed to. You're manga crash, not anime crash.
But Doraemon has a manga.
Oh,
Yeah.
you
I
gotta
haven't
binge
read
it.
it.
Binge read it.
Yeah.
Guess you gotta read it
There's,
for the
there's no
video.
translations though.
Really?
Translate yourself.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna do that.
Go find some bootleg versions.
Mm. Yeah. Let's see what else was next. Oh, okay. We're the bottom layer. Danshi Kokosei no Nishijo, which is not to be confused with Nichijo, which is different anime that I haven't seen. Looks fun though. This is the last anime that I've watched, with the exception of Agretsuko, I guess.
What year
this
was it?
2013.
You watched it. You watched it in
2013,
2013.
I guess.
Okay.
I watched it when it was airing.
Alright.
And it was like really fun. I've recently read the manga, but it is I really don't like admitting this, but comedy tends to work better on anime.
Yeah.
At least if it's well done. I've seen cases of manga being funnier than the anime, like for example with Beelzebub, which I've only watched the first episode of the anime, but the manga was so much better. But with Daily Lives, the anime just amps up with the comedy. It's just like really, really random, stupid stuff. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. No.
And I just the title says it's daily lives of like high school boys. It's just slice of life comedy, and it's just like divided into these like short segments, like sketches, I guess. My favorites are the ones where this guy just goes on a like one of those hills that you see a lot in anime, like by the riverside, and then there's a girl that just sits beside him, and it looks like this very like emotional romantic scene. And then the girl's like, she loves like writing fan fiction, so she wants that romantic scene, and so the guy like tries to start like saying romantic or epic stuff, and it just amps up, like just getting more and more stupid as it goes. I don't know how to explain comedy. Just go watch it. It's funny. Oh yeah. And then I guess I have two movies, which I'm not sure if they're by the same guy. I should know this, but I think they are.
I think so too.
Which is Summer Wars and The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. So I guess if they are, I did not put two Ghibli movies, but then I put two movies from this director. I don't know, they're just both so good. I think Summer Wars is essentially like Digimon the movie, but I guess better and not stuck in the Digimon lore, I guess. But it's just so fun, the digital, like the internet of it, like the way that it represents everything, and how it kind of reflects with the like the rural life of Japan as well. It's really nice. And A Girl Leapt Through Time, I just, again, going back to the first thing I said, I just love time traveling shenanigans, and this is just a really good movie with that. So that is my list.
Not only are they by the same writer, they were both animated by Madhouse, and they came out back to back. One in 2006, which is The Girl Leapt Through Time, and 2009 Summer Wars. So there you go. You violated your own rule, Crash.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Interestingly,
You only did to screw us Spirited Away fans over.
Yeah.
I can't believe you.
Fuck 'em.
You're a bully. You're the bully.
Fuck Spirited Away. I hate that movie.
also one more interesting
It
fact.
hates you too.
1 year before he, the director at least, put out The Girl Leapt Through Time, he did the sixth One Piece film, which is Baron
Oh, yeah.
Omatsuri and the Secret Island.
I haven't seen that movie, but yeah. I know which one it is because
Wait.
the art style of it is just so different.
Oh,
You're
I've
a
seen,
fake
like-
One Piece fan.
I've seen like 2 One Piece movies or 3 One Piece movies. I think I saw
Strong
the
World.
first 2, then I saw Strong World, and I'm sure if I saw Z, I think I also saw Z. So that's 4 movies.
Hey, Doofy, how many Naruto movies have you seen?
Every single one of them, multiple times. I think I watched the pre-time skip films
job.
probably 15 times each because I own them physically, and I would do nothing on my weekends but like play those in the background and like play with my Yu-Gi-Oh cards or something.
Yeah.
So
Hey, Poke, so how many Bleach films have you seen? All of them.
good.
Thanks
Crash.
for asking.
Oh my God, Crash is the
Crash?
fake. Is the fake Among
Crash
Us?
is fake. He's
I mean-
the imposter.
Look, I'm just taking like all these things because I'm retiring now.
Nah, nice.
Unless I'm really hot. I'm really
He's
bored.
retiring from the Big Three podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for having us,
I haven't seen all
guys.
the One Piece movies. Yeah.
Cancelled for being fake.
So wait, Poxel, did you see any of the One Piece or Naruto films?
I've seen a few of the Naruto ones. I've seen One Piece one.
Which one was it?
I don't even remember.
Okay. I remember I
Oh,
watched.
I know the Naruto ones. I saw the prison one.
Yeah. Okay. The Shippuden
That's the one that I've seen. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I saw the Boruto movie.
Nice. Yeah. I watched Strong World
I've seen-
before I think I watched anything from One Piece. It's very
Strong
weird.
World good.
Yeah, it's
Strong
good.
World was
It's
really
good.
You know,
It's
Strong World was the movie that made One Piece become the best-selling manga of all time.
Yeah, I watched
Yeah.
your video.
good. Also watched your video. And you guys should too.
It's pretty good. It's lit. In fact, you should subscribe to Crash's channel because after this podcast goes up, he's not gonna have much of a career left.
Yeah, I'm gonna get canceled by all the One Piece fans
For not
for all my
seeing-
One Piece videos.
Yeah.
like all the 2 of them.
Without watching every One Piece movie.
Yeah, damn.
Somebody made a video like going over all the One Piece films that I watched. Crash them. I feel like you probably know.
Not Mark.
Maybe
Totally not Mark. Probably.
I didn't look at who it was, but
he did that. He did a blind review of all the One Piece arcs, and then the movies, and he also did the Naruto. He did a blind review of Naruto recently,
yeah, I'd heard about
which I
that.
didn't watch. And he did a blind review of Chainsaw Man, which I did, which is like 3 videos. It's really good. Totally not Mark is cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's Mark or not.
I don't think he is
It's
Mark.
not.
It's difficult
It's like
to tell.
John.
His names are very direct. Like my name is Doofy. We know your name is Doofy. You know, totally not Mark. I
Allegedly.
don't think it's Mark.
Yeah,
You,
it's
you
totally
believe
not.
me. You believe
Yeah.
that it's Doofy, okay?
Yeah, it's Doofy.
It's actually Narufi, but it's a trick.
Yeah, today it is Narufi. That is objectively correct. All right, who's going
You
next?
want to go next, Doofy?
I do, yeah. Thanks for
Okay.
offering. All right, mine's the first of the 2 shared for those in the
Eat
Discord
the
chat.
beast. Let's go.
It's actually ordered also from top left to bottom right. So
Oh, mine doesn't.
yeah. Also, as a little like cautionary tale, there are some instances where I love both the anime and the manga, and so across both my 3x3 of anime and manga, I only chose the one I liked better. So you're gonna notice immediately I have the Naruto anime over the Naruto manga, and I stand quite firmly by that because although I think that there's some adaptation issues in all of Naruto, whether it's even like the Konoha Crush stretching things out beyond unimaginable belief, the filler, some of the pacing issues, especially like in the war arc, I take all of that and I eat it with a fucking spoon, man. Because listen, I feel like when other people go on podcasts and they want to talk about Naruto, they want to talk about like, oh man, it's Obito's character arc and dynamic with Kakashi and Sasuke and Naruto, and I'm like, no. Do you remember in the original Naruto filler arc where they made ramen with their ninjutsu and how cool that was? Like, that's the shit I love about Naruto. And so that's why I got the anime over there, because I think, for one, every single fight is just much more vivid in the anime, and I'm a big nerd for fights. I like good choreography. Naruto is that anime. I don't know. I'm just forcefully turning myself off right now because I realized we've already ate up a lot of time, and we already kind of agreed to do an episode on each of the members of the big 3. But I do notably have the anime here over the manga, mainly because animation really brings to light those fights. I do genuinely love a lot of the filler. We'll talk about that in the Naruto episode. voice acting and soundtrack, color, like, I don't know. There's not one aspect that I think the manga does better. No, that's a lie. I'm lying to you guys. There's some pacing things that the manga definitely does better.
I was gonna say, but anyway.
Anyways,
For
Naruto.
those that don't know, after the 3x3s, we have one more 3x3 episode after this one. After we get those through, we're gonna do episodes about the various animes that are in the big three, like, and mangas. So like One Piece, Bleach, Naruto,
Dragon Ball,
and Roboco.
Yeah, the big three, right? Naruto,
Dragon Ball and Roboco.
Naruto,
Dragon
Bleach,
Ball and Roboco.
Dragon Ball, and Roboco. The big three.
Yeah.
The big three. Yes.
Big three.
Yeah. Don't get it twisted. So, anyways,
and also Piece, but we don't talk about that.
One Piss.
One Piece.
Yeah, please get it right. Anyways, yeah, Naruto. I like Naruto. Whatever. Who would have guessed?
Yeah.
Let's move along. Number 2 is Darker Than Black, and I just absolutely love Darker Than Black. It fulfills like 2 requirements for me. On the one hand, like, it has this kind of sentimentality around it for me. It's one of the first anime I watched when I started getting really into anime in high school. So I think I saw this probably in 2013 or so. And I remember when I was initially watching, I thought this shit sucked. I remember texting my best friend at the time. I was like, hey, yo, this shit fucking womps. This shit's garbage. Because it felt like really episodic to me. And it kind of is early on. Kind of is throughout the whole first season, the more I think about it. And I didn't like episodic. I think we've kind of talked about that last time. It's just more difficult to get invested in characters when they're just built up for one episode and then kind of written off. So I kind of don't like that about episodic style of writing. And I also feel like I want things to matter. And when things die off after one episode, I'm like, oh, why did this even matter? But I kind of got over that very quickly because I found out there's a lot of overarching stuff going on with Dark and Black, which is mainly driven by the protagonist Hei, and his kind of dynamic with this team, but also his kind of dual life as, on the one hand, he tries to live an ordinary life and hide the fact that, on the other hand, he's actually a contractor. And I think that's one of the more technical aspects that I really appreciate with the show. It's kind of a power system, this idea of contractors where one day the sky in Tokyo was completely erased and all the stars were gone, and in its place a fake kind of veil was over Tokyo. And what we know is that each of those stars are fake stars that correspond to a different contractor. And there's this whole like mystery around where they came from and the source of their powers. But the idea is that they get these kind of supernatural powers and they're in this contract where they have to then do some kind of negative thing to kind of use their powers. So for instance, like number 11, he has these kind of ice powers, but as soon as he uses them, he has to like start smoking. Otherwise, he'll won't be able to use the powers. He'll die, something like that. I just think it's a really simple and neat kind of exchange-based power system. It's like Fullmetal, except it's always individual to the person with the power. You know, it's not just a generic. In Fullmetal, I'm transmutating this into this. It's, you know, I give and then I have to take away from myself. Something like that. I don't know. It's a really cool power system. Hei's a pretty interesting character. The story really does just follow him as he tries to figure out more about his past with his sister, because he has no idea where the fuck she's gone. His memories are kind of fucked up. The only key to figuring out anything about his past is through Amber, who's kind of presented as this antagonist. And I think it just builds on that mystery between the three of them and their past quite well, despite my original issues with some of the kind of episodic structuring earlier on. And I just think it builds up to a really nice climax. I'm a big fan of even the trajectory of the series after season 1. I quite like seeing Hei in this really wretched state that's just been kind of like destroyed mentally. Again, that's something you heard me praise about Rurouni Kenshin in the last podcast. But yeah, I don't know, yeah. So it's kind of got like nostalgia plus some pretty cool technical aspects to appeal to me. I've watched it a couple times. It's great. I don't know. Darker Than Black, ladies and gentlemen.
Darker Than Black is fun. It's just a fun series.
Can't believe it wasn't so fun that it didn't make it on your top 100 though, Poxal. This is so fucked.
Oh, that's another one that I forgot existed.
I was also surprised to see that you knew it, because I also had visited your Annulus, and I was also in that top 100 video. So,
okay, so if you looked at my original top 50 video, I think it makes it.
Oh, it's the more base video then, apparently. Well, I'm not in it, so I mean that's contentious, but anyways, that's Darker Than Black. I don't know. I don't have much to say about any of this shit. It's good anime, folks. Then we get Eden of the East, which again, it hits the kind of twofold. You'll notice that every anime like in that top row hits like the twofold. On the one hand, it's got some kind of like sentimentality for me personally, but then it also has something I think is like more conventionally admirable. I'm saving my praises for Naruto for another episode, but yeah, Eden of the East I just think I was sold on the concept initially. These X amount of members given this Selasau, given like 1 billion yen to try and change Japan. I'm like, okay, that's kind of dope. I'm into this. And then the way they present it is really interesting too, right? You get that like very infamous, I don't want to say infamous is negative. You get that like great first scene which we've mentioned again before, because Takizawa was one of my favorite protagonists, but where he's just in front of the White House with the fucking phone and the gun, naked. It's just such an iconic scene, you know what I mean? I love it. It's absolutely brilliant. Now, I will say, I do wish they explored this, like the kind of mystery in the Selasau a little more. During the end of the series, we do get to kind of see like the base of operation for it. That's kind of cool. They never fleshed it out as much as I'd like. I'd like to have seen a bit more into the lives of some of the other members that were a part of it. But the more we find out about Air King, as we get the development between Akira and Saki's relationship, just all these little things, again, culminate into something that I think is brilliant, both technically, but also it just has a special place in my heart. I watched it. I watched it at a time where, I don't know, I felt pretty vulnerable, and I think this was really a really soothing show to me, and so I rewatch it regularly to kind of get that same effect, and that's kind of something common amongst a lot of these anime. But that's Eden of the East for me.
Yeah. Beautiful pick.
Yeah,
you already know my thoughts on Eden of the East. I love their dynamic. It's so wholesome. Like their dynamic is so wholesome.
It is.
And like the concept of the phone game, like I said, I said in my top 100 video, I discovered Eden of the East after watching Mari Nikki, and it was definitely different than Mari Nikki.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in all the right ways.
Yeah, different in a better way, for sure.
Yeah.
By the way, props to you for putting fucking Future Diary in your top 100. People hate that anime so much, but it was in my top 10 for a very long time.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed to admit.
I don't know how the anime is, but the manga of Mirai Nikki just... I don't know. The ending, I feel like it drops the ball. I don't like the ending.
What was the spoilers? And I don't know if POXAL knows. I don't actually know what the ending of the manga is. I kind of want to know if you remember it.
Is it the OVA? It's the OVA's ending. So, like, she comes back and saves him.
Yeah. She has time traveling powers.
In the anime, she doesn't come back. That's the manga ending and the anime ending have one clear difference. In the manga ending, there's hope in the end, and he pretty much gets to spend his life with Yuki. In the anime ending, which they adapt that into the OVA, but in the actual official anime ending, that isn't canon, but it's canon for the anime, she doesn't come back. He is in this hopeless dimension, stuck there, with nothing left. And I personally prefer the anime's ending, even though nobody else does, apparently, because I feel like it teaches you a lesson that there's consequences to life, and that was what Mari Nikki was all about, in which the manga ending / the OVA ending kind of ruins that sense of consequences. Because it kind of proves that there was no consequences to killing all those people when there was. And that is clearly shown in the anime.
Damn.
Let me see. I don't know, I just really didn't like the time traveling, even though I've been saying, like, on my list, like, I love time traveling.
Switching up real quick, huh?
I don't know, like, it didn't feel like properly built up, felt like came out of nowhere. I don't know.
My big thing is because
there was like some foreshadowed, I guess there was like an element of foreshadowing, like the body and everything, but I don't know, I don't know, I just didn't like it too much. I still enjoyed it.
I liked it, I just wish there was more limits to it, because it felt very broken, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, it's not broken, though. My number 4 pick, Shingeki no Kyojin.
Mid?
Attack on Titan. This is something that I'm not, like, nearly as vocal about how much I love, but this really is, like, one of my favorite anime of all time.
Can't even crack number 100.
Yeah, I still don't forgive you for that, but I just remember when it first came out in 2013, like, that shit rocked my world. Like, it was the first anime since Naruto to just shake me. Like, I'm like, holy shit, like, I was just so filled with awe, like watching it week to week, and that kind of inspired me to get into the manga, and I really kept that feeling, honestly, up until, you know, the season I have here, Attack on Titan, final season, part 2. I think that's officially the first part of the anime I've given a 10. It was just, I don't know. What I really appreciate about Attack on Titan more than anything is its world building. I think that the actual world it builds is just super interesting to me, but more importantly, how it builds it. We get to see, like, early on in seasons 1 and 2, like, these little scenes where there's like cans in like that little tower they're hiding away in, and there's text that none of the Eldians can like read, because it's just like what the fuck is this, like alien. But then I think it's like either Annie or Reiner's like reading it, and I'm like, little moments like that where it was so very carefully foreshadowing events that would happen way later, to me it's just very impressive. I think there's a level of care to the detail that Ishiyama I guess put into building what will finally be, I guess, the final world of Attack on Titan as we know it. Again, just same like at the end of season 1 where we see like the crack in the wall and there's a face underneath of it. Again, all these little things, it always got me so interested in the world, and I think by and large it has delivered. I think the world that it finally creates is every bit as amazing as it was foreshadowed. There were some, you know, disappointments along the way. When we finally got to the basement, I was like, what is this?
That's sad. That's kind of like the part I'm most excited for right now.
Oh fuck! I hope I didn't absolutely kill your love. Jeez, I kind of wish I was a little more hesitant, but
AOT kind of mid. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know what scene they're like. That's the next arc I'm going to, where they're going to at least try to go to the basement.
Okay, so I'm not going to say anything else, but trust me, there's a long journey ahead of you. And
okay.
I forgot that you hadn't seen it and that you are reading it and that I shouldn't spoil anything. I think I've done a good job, though, keeping it vague enough to not say anything too.
You have. I've been looking at you like, please do not just...
Yeah, okay.
Oh, and this character just dies and everyone turns into a titan and then stabs each other.
Yeah, I think I might... you know what? We're going to... Just make sure you don't rewatch this episode, because now you're going to be looking for it. But anyways, again, I think this world... It just kills that... absolutely kills it with the world building. That's something I really like in anime and manga that I don't talk a lot about, but I love like an interesting world, and if it can be built interestingly, and I think AOT is like the best I've seen by a long shot at that. And I mean, you know, there's some other issues along the way. Like, I think its character cast can be pretty insufferable at times. I think Mikasa is one of the worst written female kind of side protagonists, just period, in all of manga. But
Mikasa is my favorite character so far.
Oh goodness.
So far, at least.
Goodness. Oh goodness.
Doofy, it's okay. He's a One Piece fan. We already expected this taste.
It's okay. I mean, to be fair, there's not a whole lot to pick from early on in AOT, like in terms of...
Yeah, I don't know how it goes like later on.
Yeah.
The thing I liked in her right now is that she is... I don't know, out of the three main characters, she feels like the most responsible. She feels like the character is actually like doing something, whereas the blonde guy, Armin, yeah. I don't know. I don't like him too much. He's a little bit of a pussy.
Yep, I agree. No, I 100% agree.
And then the main character, I don't know. He's okay. He hasn't done much. I have high hopes for what he will become later on. I expect like great development from him. Mm-hmm. But right now he hasn't done much.
No, I think he's pretty insufferable for a very long time. So, yeah. I agree. I think I even liked Mikasa earlier on too, just because she was, her and Levi just kind of fit like that kind of cold badass archetype that I think is so easy to just get into, regardless of
Levi. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Levi also looks really cool.
Yeah,
but I've only seen him for one panel.
Yeah, yeah. So
I don't know yet.
Yeah, but yeah, it's AOT, kind of. Some good shit. Also, it's just like one of those things that I get so excited to like look into the background of the world, like the history, the politics in AOT. It's one of those things that you can really like just find yourself going into these little like rabbit holes with. It's kind of like, it has the Ava effect for me, which is, you know, interestingly something else on here that I think is related consciously. Anyways, then we have Gurren Lagann. There's nothing for me to add here on Gurren Lagann. I'm a Gainax simp they were actually playing Gurren Lagann episode 1 at the bar I went to the other night. It was very strange, but
Oh, nice.
yeah, the audio wasn't playing. It was just kind of like on the screen while waiting for like a performer to come. And I'm like, what the fuck? They're playing Gurren Lagann in here. And all my friends were like,
Gurren Lagann is...
Brady, what anime is that? I'm like, it's Gurren Lagann, guys. It's really good.
It has such a great soundtrack as well.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about it, but FLCL, and Gurren Lagann has an amazing soundtrack.
Yeah.
So.
Row, fight the power.
Was.
Oh my god, it's such like an energizing anthem. I think it does have, I've mentioned this on the last podcast as well, but it does have my favorite episode in all of anime. I think it's 27, when Kamina kind of comes back in a flashback to talk to Simone and Yoko. I don't know, those are just super powerful moments to me. I especially like how he doesn't actually talk to Yoko, and it's just kind of like her moment of self-reflection, looking at her kind of life as Kamina kind of holds the television. It's just a super moving, well put together composition right before we get the big final battle. Actually, I think it's episode 26, because 27 is just like the final battle in the marriage. Wow, fantastic show. I gotta rewatch that shit. That shit is fucking nuts.
Same.
Same. I could talk forever about how good it is, but we're not going to. We got Full Metal, which I still to this day think is underrated, damn it. I think it's underrated as hell.
I'm not like, I love Full Metal, by the way. It's not on my 9x9, but very, very close.
Yeah, I'm staking out this strong claim, folks, because like, let's face it, the fact that FMAB is the #1 on MAL is not because people think it's the best anime. It's like, it's become so politicized at this point that I can't tell how much people actually like it. And indeed, when I talked to, obviously this is anecdotal, and so, I mean, to take this with a fucking grain of salt, but every time I talk to people at Full Metal nowadays, they're like, you know, it was alright, it was good, whatever. And then they just kind of like chuck it to the side or whatever. But to me, this was really like the pinnacle of like battle shonen for so long, and I still think it is in many respects. I don't know, it just does so many of the tropes right. It has this nice full cast of very well developed characters. It has a really cool power system. I think the story pans out very nicely, a full cast of interesting villains. Like, I think it's narratively put together well. It handles multiple storylines very professionally and ties them together in like the kind of final day stretch. It had a great ending. I know people like to kind of rag on Father, and I think I was even a little critical of him for a while. But the more I think back on it now, I don't know, it was such a great package overall. And I think me and Pokes will really hit on what I'm starting to think now is the crux of the issue in that top 100 video. I think people aren't watching the original Full Metal anymore. I think they're just watching Brotherhood. And the problem with that is that I think Brotherhood was designed to be
For
like
you to watch the original.
I think so, absolutely, because it speeds through the characterization early on. Like, it really does. The pace is a little faster, whereas the 03 adaptation, because it was just trying to stretch out what little content it had, you spent so much time with the characters early on, really building up their characters, spending more time with them. It felt more intimate. And although it goes off in an interesting yet unique direction that I don't always love, I think them as a package deal is absolutely superb, and I really think that's the reason why people don't think more highly of Brotherhood these days. They're missing, I guess, a lot of the important characterization that we are kind of importing from the original. Again, maybe that's just some fucking crazy copium, because I think I think Full Metal Brotherhood is all that good, but yeah.
If you were there like when Brotherhood came out, like having the context that I had. Yeah, when it came out, like, everyone that was in anime had seen like the O3. If they hadn't seen the O3, they were caught with the manga. So, like, the main worry we all had when the Brotherhood started releasing was, we don't want to like watch O3 all over again, because most of us had watched it not too long ago. And when I think it's like the first 10 or so episodes of Brotherhood, they got like bashed. The reviews got bashed because they were rushing everything, and everyone was like, it's rushing everything because we've all seen this, we know the story, we've all seen the O3. But it's something that like 10 years later, people are not going to have that context. People are not going to watch the O3 because everyone says that Brotherhood is the better anime. So why would you watch O3 first, right?
Yeah. We've created this problem for ourselves because we all watched O3 first, then Brotherhood, then just said Brotherhood is better, and now all these new folk are only watching Brotherhood because of us. We fucked up, damn it. Though I normally, like, if people ask me about Full Metal, like, I always say you gotta watch O3 too. Like, you just have to. I've even talked to like
Just
some
read the
people.
manga.
See, I actually never finished
watched
the
it.
manga.
I never watched Brotherhood. I watched like half of O3, I guess. But never watched Brotherhood, so I don't know how it actually compares. To be fair.
Yeah, I think I read like 9 volumes of the manga. I might own a few more. I do eventually plan on finishing my read of it, but I don't like her art style too much, to be honest. I think that
The noses are a bit big.
yeah, there's like I don't know, there's kind of softness in the way her line work that I think is like it's kind of cool, but I don't know. I don't think it suits the series as well as say like the kind of way it's been adapted in both animation, especially O3.
I'd agree.
I think the art style in O3 was just terrific, much better than. I mean, it's subtle, but I think it is much better than Brotherhood.
No, I agree, but I feel like it's something that you just kind of get used to the style in the manga.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. But for real, I do like to say all the time that I think Fullmetal is underrated because everyone's like it's number 1 on Mal, but I think if you were just to talk to a few like people casually about Fullmetal, I think you'll start to see why I might hold that. Because I just remember, and I feel like Crash, you can probably relate to this. I just remember like watching a lot of AniTube in like 2012 and 13 and 14, and just Brotherhood was on everyone's like top 10 list. Like it just was like.
Yeah.
It was never anyone's favorite, but it was always up there. People had like universal respect for it. Same with Gurren Lagann, to be honest. I feel like those kind of occupied a similar space. Same with Code Geass, same with Death Note. These all kind of formed this little epoch of, I think, anime very characteristic of that time.
Yeah.
No, it was no one's favorite. Well, Code Geass,
It was
I think.
a lot of people's favorite.
Yeah,
but I get what you mean.
Yeah, I think.
No. I think FMA Brotherhood though has a very strong fan base still. It's just people
They're
rub
very
them all off as like toxic fans, and so they get ignored. Because I've spoken to an FMA Brotherhood like somebody who thinks it's the best anime of all time. But it's just like you are way more highly likely to hear somebody say Hunter x Hunter is my favorite anime, or Attack on Titan is my favorite anime, or Naruto is my favorite anime, or One Piece is my favorite manga, or Bleach is my favorite anime than you are to hear FMA Brotherhood is my favorite anime.
Why we just skip the One Piece anime there?
Yeah, I just love that. One Piece is the manga.
Exactly. Nobody's saying that shiz is good.
But it's true. Like, it's just the pacing. Maybe you can talk a little bit about that in detail on the One Piece episode. But the anime, like the pacing, just kills it.
Yeah. Anyways, I think this rests my FMA case. I will just say that I still think that it is like incomprehensibly better than a Hunter x Hunter. It still like bothers me deep down when people put Hunter x Hunter in the same tier as like AOT and FMA. I'm like, no. Let's not get it fucked up, folks. There's a quality gap here, and trust me, Hunter x Hunter's not on the top of it.
Objectively speaking.
Yeah, well, of course, I'm actually using my Sage mode sensory jutsu right now, so I can see objective facts everywhere. And Hunter x Hunter's real low RN, so that's Fullmetal. So
Can I just how proud I am that none of us have Hunter x Hunter in our top 9.
Yeah, this is a glorious day,
Yeah.
to say the least.
We haven't reached the
Creams,
manga yet.
Creams should be creaming right now. Wait, what? Pause.
Yo, hey, yo.
Pause.
That's okay. We have to make sure we insert a bit of like Hunter x Hunter, One Punch Man, and JJK hate in per episode, so we can get like the
Just
Kareem's
to-
piss
yeah.
off toll.
On Twitter, yeah. So we can get tagged on Twitter, and then he can be like,
Free marketing.
How dare you guys?
Yeah, free
Yeah,
marketing
free
essentially.
marketing.
We played you Creams, and we're gonna play you again. Damn it.
Yeah, JJK, Hunter x Hunter, and One Punch Man kind of suck.
Yeah, kind of, bro. There's nothing kind about it.
Worst anime.
On God.
Wild how Hunter x Hunter doesn't have a single villain that's better than a single villain in Naruto.
Like the best. They're worse than the villains in RoboCop.
Yeah, you know, like Roboco has better villains. Than
Yeah.
Hunter.
Robo just better though. Like let's not get it twisted, folks. That's why it's in the
Agree.
big 3 and Hunter x Hunter isn't.
Yeah,
True.
Roboco is actually projected to sell more than One Piece this year. Source, trust me, bro.
Trust me.
Yeah.
I made it up.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what the heck?
I remember I tried to we have like an AniTube chat on Twitter, and I remember I tried to like convince people that I believe that. I said JJK is actually on track to sell more than One Piece this year, and I remember I got crashed with that one. You were like, "Where'd you read that? What the hell?" What?
But it is.
I mean, like overall sales though.
But it is. Oh no. Okay, overall. But yearly sales, it is.
Yeah, no, yearly sales. Yeah, that's an easy. I meant like overall sales.
Easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
One Piece, that fraud. No, wait. Actually, on this podcast, I want One Piece to beat JJK, so I'm switching it up on y'all. Anyways.
Depends on where you are.
It is. I'm like, there's no JJK lovers around here. I gain nothing for praising it. I hate it. I think One Piece is better. But,
Thank you.
Objectively, of course. How do
I
we...
mean, like, unironically, I do like Hunter x Hunter quite a bit, but, like, I think Hunter x Hunter is madly overrated. Like, in the sense is, like, everybody has in, like, their top 3, and I'm, like, I barely have in my, like, I don't even have in my top 20. Like...
I mean, but you have it in your top 30, though, so it's like...
No, it's not even in my top 30. It's number 31.
Wasn't it 29? Because
No,
Naruto was 30?
Oh, wait, I forgot. Before then, I added, like, 2 new shows to it, so it messed everything up. Okay, now it's not even in my top 30.
Yeah, it's 31, though. It's like... Yeah, it's not even my top 20, and then it's like 11 spots down the line. I'm like, yeah, well, it's... Might as well be, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that far away.
No, but, like, what I mean is, like, a lot of people say, like, it's, like, a top 10 show, and if you don't have it in your top 10, then you're a fraud.
I mean...
It's, like, dumb.
Yeah, that's just dumb.
For any show.
It has good qualities, but it's by no means a masterpiece. I feel like a lot of people make out to be like this 10 out of 10 peak fiction. That's fair if they think that. Like opinions are opinions.
We gotta wait
Just
for
me.
Yeah, no, go on.
For me, Hunter x Hunter is nowhere near 10 out of 10. It's like an 8.
Well, Crash, it's coming back,
0.5.
so you can read it now, and we can do the Hunter x Hunter episode.
Where we just trash on Hunter x Hunter. Can we invite Cream so we can all 3 like gain up on him like that one JJK made?
Yeah, I'd like
I
that
don't
a
know
lot.
what I'm gonna say about it, but sure.
Once you read it,
Crash, you have
you'll
to
know.
I'll hate it. I'll hate it. I just don't know anything about it.
When you joined, when you joined the podcast, you signed an agreement that said, "Rule number 1: trash on Hunter x Hunter."
I'm okay with trashing it. I just don't know how I'm gonna trash it because I don't know anything. I guess like Barium sucks.
yeah,
That's his name, right?
that's a good one.
Just call him a bug. Be like, Miriam is
Stupid
literally
bug.
just a glorified bug. Like,
Yep.
he's
Yeah.
nothing better. He's just an ant.
It's just a reject from Mori King.
Just read level E before you read Hunter x Hunter. Trust me, it's better.
I might read.
I haven't
level
read it. I haven't read it.
but it is better.
Yeah, it's better.
Objectively, of course, it's actually Hunter x Hunter's arguably Takashi's worst work.
I've only watched Hunter x Hunter and watched Yu Yu Hakusho, so I do prefer you. No, I don't. I like to say I do, but it's tough for me.
You don't live it like me. You don't live it like me. I'd be living that Hunter x Hunter is worse than Yu Yu Hakusho life 24/7.
I had Fooly Cooley on my top 100.
Did you?
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not looking at an updated version?
No, it's not an updated version. In the video, it was number 66.
Did we talk about
It'd
it?
be 69.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, what were we gonna actually say something or
Yeah.
or
Yeah, what are we on?
I'm on my last row of my 3x3 if we'd like to proceed.
Shoot.
Next is Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, which actually I finally got the courage to put it up higher in my like top. Well, because as I've already mentioned, I'm doing the top 50 thing as inspired by POXAL, and because it's so many titles, I wanted to like write like a little blurb about each, so that I'm not gonna ramble and say nothing for 25 minutes about 50 shows. And like just the more I go through my list, and when I was even like coming up with these 3x3s, I'm looking at the things I just have a high number on, and I'm thinking to myself, this doesn't really feel like my taste though. This doesn't really feel like what I genuinely enjoy and always come back to. Like, yeah, I've got Not Simple at like a 9.5. It's great. I've reread it a bunch of times. But it's not as iconic and like essential to my taste as like a fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. So I kind of had to do a little more thinking. I actually adjusted my score for GX quite a bit. It bumped way the fuck up my list. I rewatched a bunch of the episodes. I'm like, yeah, no, it's where it belongs. It's now in my 3x3. GX, I don't know exactly where it ranks among all my like anime and manga, but I love GX for all the reasons I mentioned. I loved Judayuki in the last episode. I genuinely think all like the corny 4Kids jokes in the first 2 seasons are amazing. I like the actual trajectory of the show once you like watch it in subbed in the 3rd and 4th seasons. I quite like I know I kind of just vaguely point to Judai's development, but specifically with his relationship to the actual card game, because he kind of comes into it like it's all fun and games, but he very quickly finds out how problematic that kind of mindset is towards the game, especially like in the world of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think that becomes most prevalent in season 3, where there are actually consequences now because we're in this strange dimension, and if your friends like lose the duel, like they fucking die. So it's a little more dire than I just want to have fun, and I think that's where he really starts to have to think through his relationship with dueling. And I mean, he has this whole bit in that season where he's just hesitant to even duel at all because like he sees what's happening to his friends and the way that kind of gets played against him. It's really intense. And that ultimately leads him into the Supreme King with Yubel. And that's like the ultimate, again, one of my favorite tropes, is you're really quickly coming to find out, is like the absolute like defeat of the protagonist, right? That's when Judai's at its lowest. He'd lost Yohan for so long now. He's just like in this mental like fog. But then finally, like after he kind of comes out of it, we get the 4th season. He's a little more reserved, a little more mysterious now. But by the very end of that, after kind of building himself back up, he gets the final duel against Yugi. And in it, like in the final moment, even though he's like facing fucking Slifer, who's easily gonna like demolish his team, he's just thinking to himself like, yes, I finally get it. Like it's okay to have fun while dueling. Like you just gotta kind of know like your limits and whatever. It just comes together in a really beautiful scene. Even though he's facing defeat, he just found his love for dueling, kind of found his direction again, and it's very beautiful. I think it's done tremendously. I don't know. I rest my case. It's Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. It's really that show. I love it.
I really like GX mostly because like I can just remember the most random episodes. Like I just remember there was like a Tarzan episode where like Tarzan stole like a sandwich or something like that. Again, I don't remember it clearly because it was years and years ago, but it's great. Like GX is genuinely amazing because it goes from like this really lighthearted tone to this really dark tone like that. And I definitely agree with the whole like Judai Yuki's like development where it goes from like thinking like it's just fun and games to realizing the consequences are present now. It's just fun, and it's not just fun. It's really well story writing. Really well done story. Like I know people are probably gonna hear me say that and think I'm joking, but like just the tone shift and like almost the thematic change there was very interesting.
Yeah, season 3 is so dire.
Yeah,
I think one of the biggest blunders in the series though is they didn't fucking kill Hell Rio, which Zane in the dub. He just, after he kind of got his ego destroyed in like I guess season 2 because he went competitive and he kind of sucked after being like the top at Duel Academy, he just developed a strange fetish for like getting shocked when he was dueling. Like when they lose life points, he like just get like shock collared and like kind of got off to that, and like I don't know, he became Hell Kaiser, I think was his name. Yeah. And like at the end of season 3 in his duel, like he just like fucking dies. Like his heart just gives out from all like the shock treatment. And it was like, holy shit, it was so crazy. But then in season 4, they brought him back in like a wheelchair, and it's just like he does nothing all of season 4. And I'm like, y'all should have just killed him. You fucking you dropped the ball. This could have been such an iconic end to such a great character arc, but no, he's just kind of useless, kind of edgy, kind of not so edgy, in a wheelchair, not dueling. I don't know. That's one blunder I guess I could say GX had.
I also really like how although early Yu-Gi-Oh! GX had a very lighthearted tone, it still had some dark things present. Like it had a very big sense of like classism almost present in it, with like how the Slifers were treated, how the Obelisks were treated, and how the Raws were treated. Speaking of which, that always confused me. Mm-hmm. Why was their order that? Because you would think that Ra would be like the top one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
yeah, you're right. I don't get it either.
Raws were the second.
I always thought like Obelisk was the weakest. Like I thought it was strange.
Yeah, in the card game, it kind of is the actual card game.
Well, all 3 of them actually suck in the actual card game.
There was like, hey.
Maybe now, but when they came out, they were like pretty cool. I don't know. Or maybe I was just
They
a kid.
they require 3 sacrifices, and there was effect monsters that were way better than them that required 0 sacrifice.
I think though in 2013, Obelisk saw some pretty like big competitive play with like Frog Monarchs, because I used to play that deck all the time, and it was like fairly competitive. Obelisk was actually, as far as I can tell, the one who got the most meta play out of all 3 of them. I don't even remember what the fuck Raw did anymore, but I remember like Slifer wasn't that good because it depended on how many cards were in your hand, which is like not a very good thing to rely on. And
Because late game you didn't have a lot of cards in your hand.
yeah, you're always like
Usually you'd have like 3.
you're always
I
dumping
remember-
them nowadays, right? So
That is kind of like the Yu-Gi-Oh episode I remember, or kind of like the arc is that came in the original where they had like the Slifer. I don't actually remember who Yugi was against, but that he had like this card, this card that kept giving him cards, and you just like had the full hand. It was a really fun episode. it's the one thing I remember from Yu-Gi-Oh.
yeah, no,
That and the original like 4 episodes, because I had a VHS of them.
Wasn't there something after Obelisk though? Like there was a new one that came out after the Obelisk in like one of the later seasons.
No.
Can't remember.
you mean like a god?
I tried playing Yu-Gi-Oh recently.
Yeah.
In like
It's
the
like there was like a 4th class I thought that came.
well, I think in the turn back or in the, like when they go back in the past, in like the final arc, isn't there like Zork or something,
Yeah.
which was like an ancient god, kind of, not really. I don't remember. I don't remember a lot of Duel Monsters anime that well, especially the later shit.
Like classes. Like
Oh, you
wasn't
mean
there like a 4th class later on?
oh in GX?
Yeah.
I think with the Society of Light, like the white jackets.
Yeah.
That was some weird shit. Yeah, I don't know how. I think it's even funnier to think about when you have to realize like this was like a dual academy island where I'm sure there was like some kind of administration in charge of like having all this stuff taken care of, and like I don't know, the prospect of the Society of Light just kind of going on the island, setting up.
Did they get?
Yeah, it's
How
not a
many
fucking-
lawsuits did they get? These are children.
Not a good island, yeah. Not one I would send my children to. But I don't think that was. I don't know. I don't really know how it worked into the fucking class system.
Let me ask you this question: If your child came to you and was like, "Dad, I want to go to a university or to academy where I learn how to play cards,"
As long as it's not magic, I'm fine with it. I'll let my child be a little Yu-Gi-Oh duelist.
No. If my kid came to me and was like, "Dad, I want to go to a high school for Yu-Gi-Oh," I'd be like, "Hell yeah!"
I'd be excited even.
It's like, yeah, I'll go with you.
Yeah.
Oh, funny
High school
story.
family.
Funny story, real quick about Yu-Gi-Oh. I used to be so addicted to GX and like Duel Monsters that I was actually planning to open up a Yu-Gi-Oh duel school when I grew up. When I was like 8.
Nice.
You're a very interesting 8-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say one more thing on Yu-Gi-Oh as a whole. It's surprising the amount of depth the franchise as a whole goes into on like classism, bro. Just watch 5Ds. 5Ds is like an unreal exploration of like class oppression. It's absolutely nuts how just all this went over our fucking heads when we were younger. I need to rewatch 5Ds. That shit is bonkers. That could easily also be like in my top 10 if I rewatched it, because I'm just a simp for Yu-Gi-Oh. But
one last thing for GX. I know we said last thing, but get your game on.
I will be getting my game on.
That opening is peak.
I think like literally all 4 of the Japanese openings and the 1 English opening are like would all be in my top 10 favorite openings of all time. I think they're all so fucking good.
Yeah, like Get Your Game On is like such a song that gives you so much hype. Like it's like, for example, like the easiest example I can think of is like number 1 for Bleach is like hype. But Get Your Game On is like on that level of hype.
Yeah.
Like, it gets you, when you hear Get Your Game On, you're getting your game on. You're pulling out your $300 dual disc that you never actually owned, even though it was on Amazon and you really wanted to get it. Sorry.
Can't relate, bro. I had many dual discs back in my day.
Well, you had a dual
I had the
disc?
Academy
I
dual
wanted
disc,
one.
and I had the Orichalcos dual disc.
I wanted
so
a dual
dope.
Was the
disc
thing that-
so
yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
I wanted a dual disc as a kid so badly.
I think I had like.
No, I had the math. That's all I had.
Oh, that's so
Did
sad.
you ever actually play with the dual disc?
Yeah, they're very difficult, and plus they didn't work with sleeves, so a lot of cards were beat the shit out of because of that, right? So
Wow, I can only imagine how difficult they are to play with, because like
they were very. We didn't do it frequently. Like the graveyards barely fit all the cards in it. It's just like such a fuck around. But they were so cool. I always thought the original Duel Disk design was the coolest, and I never had that one. I had a friend that had it though. Yeah, the original like Duel Monsters one was like red and like it had two parts that like folded out almost.
No, that's the only one I know.
Oh, do you guys remember like the Yugi's Legendary Dex sets?
As in like the gold box that they released with the three decks? Yes, yeah.
Like they did two of them. The first one was like the three different Yugi decks, and then the other one was Yugi's, Kaiba's, and Joey's.
Yes.
I bought both of those as a kid, and I thought it was so cool that I had like Kaiba's deck, and then I also had like Yugi's deck. Like I roleplayed as Yugi when I fought somebody at one point, because it was just like, it was lit, man.
Yeah, even now, like admittedly, when I go home with extra cash, like I buy Yu-Gi-Oh cards, bro. Like it's just fun to me. Like I always fall for like the nostalgia baiting Yu-Gi-Oh products. Like always, whenever they release like some kind of like Legend of the Dragons, like throw back to the past. Like I'm the first one buying them, like 100%. I had like very recently, like not recently now because I've been away from home for a while, but like in January when I was home for a bit, I put together like replica Yugi and Kaiba decks, and not just like, I wasn't just copying the lists on the products that they made, but like I was looking at the anime, like I was going through like the cards shown in the anime, trying to figure out what is like the most essential Yugi deck that's functional. So it's so fun. I have a lot of fun with that, but not the competitive stuff anymore. It's just too fast for me.
The competitive stuff is just boring for me. Like it's like, to me, it's like I always prefer playing with like old school Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like the cards they use in like GX and Duel Monsters, because those are the series I love. Like,
well, I like the kind of early synchro stuff, because like I was doing like a progression series with my friend where like we would just get like X amount of packs from each set like at a time, and we could slowly like, build our deck and collection. And like just playing them with only cards out of early Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters was so boring, because it was nothing more than just get a higher attack power monster and like run over the opponents. But like I think early synchros were like the perfect. Like even by the time like shooting Quasar Dragon, that was getting a little too crazy for me. But I think even that looks a little like laughable by today's standards about just how fast the game is. Like Pendulums, I was like, I'm out. Pendulums, it's over. Nah, fuck all that. Links, nah, we're not doing any of that today.
I still don't get, like, I installed the Yu-Gi-Oh card game on Switch when they came out, the most recent one, which is free. I have no fucking idea how to play the game anymore. It's like blue cards with multiple colors. The white ones, the white ones were the synchros, right? I kind of vaguely remember how to play them.
Yeah.
But then everything after that is just like so confusing. I still have the polymerization card, the one you need to use to fuse. That's how I fused cards. Now you just kind of like pile them up, and then you just bring them out to some other deck.
Yeah.
And it brings like some special effect which is too big for me to read it.
Yeah.
I cannot play Yu-Gi-Oh!
And it's crazy because the language on the cards now has become more, I guess optimized would be the word, but if you don't know what these words mean now, it's like you're not gonna be able to understand. Like before, like it was like a fairly plain. I think it would use some technical terms to denote like removed from play or whatever. But now it's like magic. Like it just will like say like float instead of like explaining what a float is or whatever. That's like a magic example. I don't know. I couldn't think of one about Yu-Gi-Oh off the top, but noob, if you're watching this, please don't laugh at us for being old men who don't understand Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
That's Yu-Gi-Oh GX. Next is Neon Genesis Evangelion. One of my favorite pretentious shows of all time. I'm infinitely smarter than everyone else who doesn't have Ava on their list.
Dang it, Ava's not on mine.
Oh shit! I guess I'm smarter than you.
Missed it.
Yeah. No, but for real, I guess the thing I liked about Ava was, just like Attack on Titan, it just has a really cool fucking world that it creates. Like the whole idea of the angels and like Lilith and Adam and Kaoru's whole role in all of this, and fucking Seal, the instrumentality project. There's all these just cool concepts here, and it doesn't spoon feed you them. That's what I love in a lot of these. Like, it's not on the nose with what is going on in the world or what has happened. It's all like little hints here. It's, you have to infer, and that's where you get into the rabbit holes. And Ava's like one of the best shows to just get in on a rabbit hole. I remember just like watching like a series of video essays that were like an hour long each, and there's like 6 of them in the series, just like breaking down like the basics of like the history of like the politics and of the angels and shit. It's so fascinating to me. It's just like cool. I just love the world that it makes and the way that it does it. And yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything substantial.
Shinji's so amazing.
I don't care as much about Shinji. I know a lot of people like the kind of like psychology aspect of Ava. I think it's cool also, but my heart is with the angels and trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. And
oh yeah, like the mysterious aspect is fun. Like, I think Ava is like such a great series. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Like it barely, like when I say it barely missed my 9, it barely missed my 9. It was like number 11 or like on the list of anime after taking out the manga.
Yeah, and to be fair, even if I were to have put a few, because like I said, there are manga that I chose that have anime adaptations that I also love that could have been on here. Ava could have realistically have just fell out as well, but this was really one of my like core favorite anime for a long time when I first watched it in, I guess, 2016. So yeah.
Have you seen the new movies?
I haven't seen the 4.44, 3.0 plus 1.0, whatever they call it. But I've seen all the other rebuilds, the first 3. I've just been meaning to get around to the 4th one. Have you seen the 4th one?
I haven't seen any of them. I really need to. I hear the 4th one though is amazing.
I have heard that's really good. I like all of them actually. I like the different theories of the films.
Yeah, I've watched the first 2 of the films, and I've watched half of this season, I guess. The first 15 episodes.
Oh, interesting.
I just never finished it. It's like someone lent me the DVDs. So I watched it then, but then I didn't finish because I had to return to him. And I kind of want to go back to, because it's on Netflix, and it's just so easy for me to watch. So I kind of want to watch it then. But yeah, the thing I remember most of Evangelion that I really liked is just the aesthetic of it, like the angels especially. It's just like something that's so appealing to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's totally fair.
Yeah. It really is a brilliant series. I also, interestingly, hated this at first, though. I remember my old channel when I first watched it in 2016. I was just kind of like, it's just kind of like, whatever. It's kind of lame. But I guess it has that nostalgic, like, 90s animation style that's kind of, like, broadly appealing. Little did I know that in a few weeks after making that video, it would become one of my favorite anime of all time. Oh, the beauty of Ava. Anyways, like, in many ways, this was the blueprint for Attack on Titan also. I think Attack on Titan's taken a lot of notes, not just in terms of the way that humanity is oppressed by, like, the angels or the Titans, but also just in the way that it goes about building its story. I think it's taken a lot of notes from Anno and from Ava. So they kind of have, like, a spiritual connection that I think I appreciate the same thing in both of them. So, yeah. Are those, what's that? Is that an L? Is that a...
L.
Why is that an L? I'm saying that what I like about Attack on Titan is the same thing in Ava.
AOT is trash. Why did you have to mention AOT?
Because it was inspired by Ava.
Doofy had like peak taste for a second. He was like peak take.
Shouldn't you be flattered that I'm highlighting how much AOT is borrowed from Ava? That's something people kind of sweep under the rug these days.
I think it's borrowed more from Code Geass, but hey.
Wait, you mean Ava inspired Code Geass more? Is what you're saying?
I'm saying that I think Code Geass inspired AOT more than Ava. That's how I feel.
I think that's some craziness, and you should stop talking now.
Because you know I'm spitting.
No, because Peak would not be inspired by Mid. Peak can only be inspired by Peak. It says so right here. Peak can only be inspired by Peak. You can't see it though.
I cannot see anything.
It's good.
I just remember that One Piece was inspired by this like children's Viking show. I also watched as a kid. that was just about like this little kid going on a Viking boat and going, "Yay, I'm a Viking!" And then the episode ended.
Doofy, how are we on time?
Well, I have a proposition.
It's only anime.
Only anime episode. What are thoughts? Because it's about 2 hours in now.
Yes.
No, that's what I was thinking because I got like 40 more minutes and then I probably have to go.
Yeah, it's the
we
anime
talk
only,
too
guys.
Oh.
More content. Writes itself,
Yeah.
doesn't it, boys? Alright, this will conclude my 3x3 there. We have Barakamon. I think I exhausted the reasons I liked it last time when I talked about Sei Honda, but he is, again, the life force of this show. Just watching his kind of character trajectory. The one thing I'm coming to learn is later in life I'm able to appreciate those plots that, unlike a battle show, which I think puts a lot of time and effort into crafting like a kind of grander narrative that has to do with different kind of like social relations between nations and like the history of the world and all, I'm starting to learn to appreciate the simplicity of shows that can just make its plot nothing more than its characters. You know, their hesitancies about new things, their kind of insecurities about how to deal with those things. I think Toradora is also like a great example of that, but I think Barakamon is another one. But Barakamon for me just kind of edges out because of how much I relate to Sei Honda. But that ability to just kind of have a plot just be, you know, your main character's kind of emotions and motivations, I think is something I'm starting to appreciate more later in life. And I think Toradora was the first one that kind of turned me in that direction to appreciate that, as opposed to these grand battle shonen epics. But that's my 3x3. That's my anime 3x3, guys. I was hoping
Yeah.
I was hoping that I would take a little shorter, but you know us.
Big announcement. Our first episode just hit 300 views.
Yay!
Woo!
In what?
Mom, I did it. I'm retiring.
A little over a day. That's
One
pretty
day.
good.
Yeah, a little over a day.
Nice.
Alrighty, here's my 3x3.
All right, I'm excited. Or am I?
Or are you?
Yeah, I don't know.
I looked at chat, just saw like 45. I was confused.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Are you shocked? Intrigued?
I'm a little shocked.
What is? I have no idea.
There was one show that got ripped out of my top 10 recently, and that wasn't because something beat it. It's because I reevaluated it, and I was like, this doesn't belong here. And that would be To Your Eternity.
Nice.
By
You made
Yoshitoki Oima.
You made the right decision.
I still think To Your Eternity is incredible, but I think I was overvaluing it a little too much because I liked the author a bit much.
Yeah.
But yeah. So as we approach the POXAL'S 3x3, we'll start backwards like I usually do. None of these are in any particular order. But yeah, I will say the best thing on this is only number 4 in my favorite anime and manga, which goes to show that manga superior. Oh, anyway, Lovely Complex is the first one. Lovely Complex is a very fun story. I don't know why I love it so much, but it's just kind of like, it's almost like this level of like, you get to watch these two characters who are friends kind of learn to love each other, and they begin to fall in love with each other. There's a lot of twists and turns in their relationship, and I really like how it tells more than just how they fall in love. It tells the actual story of them dealing with these emotions. A lot of the time I feel like stories end the second that they get together, and this one doesn't. I also think that it's like one of the funniest animes I've ever watched. The main joke being that she's a tall girl and he's a short guy, which might not seem like it can be very creative and twisted around to be funny in a lot of ways, but it does. Their dynamic is among one of the best dynamics, and I don't know, I just really love it. It's a very cute anime, and it's like, it's really good. It's very emotional, and yeah.
Is it lovely, would you say, or?
Yes, it's very lovely.
Okay. Just glad. Just make sure we got that in
Coming
there.
up next is Domestic Girlfriend. Mob Psycho. Mob Psycho 100. I watched last month.
Oh.
it was incredible. I thought I was like falling out of anime and manga as a whole, kind of a little bit. But Mob Psycho kind of reminded me about what I love about anime and how fun a series can just genuinely be. I mean, it's funny, but at the same time, I don't think comedy is the best part of Mob Psycho. Like, I know a lot of people say Mob Psycho is great because it's a comedy and it's hilarious, but I think I love Mob Psycho because of Mob as a main character and a protagonist. Like, how Mob deals with like the world around him and him having powers is just incredible in my opinion. I mean, he's this broken individual and everybody around him is pathetic compared to him. And just the way that the story is written, I like. And I also really like how the final battle in season 2 goes and how everything is just animated to perfection. But yeah.
I've seen the first 2 episodes of the first season, and yeah, the animation was amazing. Because I feel like one of the reasons why I kind of stopped watching animation back like in the late 10s, I guess, was, I don't know, the animation I just really didn't find it appealing. I really find the animation of the movies or like Western stuff much more appealing than anime, which probably will get me stabbed on the street, but like, I don't know.
I like your honesty.
Yeah. I remember like the One Piece animation. I like Wano probably has great animation. I've seen some segments of recent episodes and it looks great. Like the fucking animation of One Piece in the first episodes is horrible.
Yeah.
And that's true for most, like, I feel anime at least of the time. It's probably better like now we have Demon Slayers. Demon Slayer would not exist like back then.
No.
But like, yeah, Mob Psycho was one that I just kind of checked because I heard a lot of good stuff about the animation. It was just so beautiful, and I feel like I should probably go back to either the manga or the anime. But yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to pick up the manga and start reading it, but I think I'm gonna stick to the anime. It's just how visually stunning it is. The art style, brilliant. I mean, it's one of those things where like the way I define Mob Psycho is it's just fun. Like, it is art. And that is how I see Mob Psycho.
Can someone answer me a question? Because Mob Psycho is by the creator of One Punch Man, right?
Yeah, the writer.
Okay, so yeah,
I had no idea.
I was just trying to figure out the relation there because I think they're both by the same writer, but they have different artists, right? Because One Punch Man has the web comic, then it has Murata's adaptation, right?
That's it, yeah. Because one does both Mob Psycho's story and art and One Punch Man's story and art, but then Murata just went to him and was like, do you want me to draw this? And
that's so funny.
No one says no. Like, no one fucking says no to Murata drawing their stuff.
So is the mangaka behind, like the artist behind Mob Psycho, is that the original writer?
Yeah. Also?
Okay, that's interesting. I actually, like, from what I've seen, I much prefer the art style of Mob Psycho. Like, it's just so wacky and like over the top.
Yeah. I think it's way later than One Punch Man, so I guess he just got better.
Yeah.
And like, I can see, I just think it's literally like a million times better than One Punch Man. Like, that's my honest view when it comes to Mob Psycho. Like, I just remember in season 2 there being this one episode, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but you see Mob have to go through ultimate despair, and the way that the author, the animators animate the emotion in Mob Psycho is the best form of animating emotion. Like when people like think of like depression or like think of like anger or all these things, you kind of put these like the way that you draw it out is you just go crazy. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like the sporadic image of like all these lines that just is like this almost blur, or it's like almost like this like dead picture. Like, the way that we imagine emotions as human beings is what I see Mob Psycho being. I've never seen an anime able to animate how humans can see emotions, kind of, in a sense.
Yeah.
in the show, not directly on like faces, not realistically, but from like a mental perspective, if that makes sense. Like how artists display their emotions on paper, for example, and how we can see that when we like try to imagine our emotions just being emotions, separating it from the individual. Very hard to explain, I guess, but I hope you guys get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I get it. Also, another thing about art, I think I haven't read, Mob Psycho or One Punch Man. From the panels that I've seen, it's a good case study of like having bad art, but having like great composition and paneling. That's kind of what I feel about like Attack on Titan. What I've read so far, like I hate Yourself. Yeah, I fucking hate it so much.
Very difficult to follow.
When I first read the first two, it's not like when I first read the first two chapters back in whatever the year that the anime came out. Because I've read the first two chapters then, I absolutely hated it, like everything. But now that I reread it, those chapters, and the arc I guess that comes after. The paneling, like you can, like the paneling is really good. Like the composition is really good. Just like the art style is the bad thing, and even then, a lot of times it's decent.
I haven't seen the manga for Mob Psycho, so I don't know how the art looks, so I can't say an opinion on that. I just think like it's just brilliant how the animators animate everything, and like Mob is a character as well, because Mob's character is like he's like this very average teenage boy, just like he's a very quiet kid with like very emotionless expressions, but he has one goal: he wants to end up with this girl. But as time goes on, you see like his emotions begin to mix, you see things get changed. So when he does have his bursts, when he does have his emotional cries, outcries where like he breaks down, like it's amazing. Like it is like it just hits a lot deeper, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, the next one on the list is Toradora.
Which you guys love.
I've mentioned this numerous times. I don't think I have to go too much in detail when it comes to my love for Toradora, but it is Ryuji and Taiga and who they are as individuals, what they represent, and how the anime presents the complexities of concepts of maturity, how heartwarming it is. I watched Toradora in the perfect moment of my life because I was transitioning from teenager to high, like junior high to high school range is kind of when I started. Like I think I was a freshman in high school when I checked out, and I was new to high school, meaning like it was like a new atmosphere for me. And the way that Toradora presents maturity and how one can mature hits, because like there's like these societal norms that are presented to us where we're like worried about what other people think of us and all these things. And episode 2 of Toradora still hits me to this day, and to this day I think Toradora has like some of the best romance moments in romance. I mean, like there's this scene in like episode 6 where Ryuji is in the pool and he gets rescued by Taiga, and Taiga's over him and she's just screaming, "Ryuji is mine," and it hits to your emotional core. So I really do like Toradora to pieces. Every scene, every moment, every episode, I love Toradora. But yeah,
I agree. I'm sorry for laughing, by the way. I pushed the pencil down and my nose looked kind of funny, and I just started laughing and I couldn't concentrate for very much longer. But I'm gonna put the pencil down now. It's my favorite thing to fidget with.
Thing in the fucking podcast.
Yeah, that's. What can I say? That is Narufi for you. That level of immaturity, right? Notice how
see Naruto do exactly that.
Right. So you notice I don't have the Hokage coat on, right? So we're still a young man.
You're pretty shipping.
Yeah. Well, I'm early shipping, we'll say. If I put the blue one on, I'd look closer to. By the way, I have two. This one's cool too. Don't worry, Crash is the only one with a metal one. But anyways.
Yeah. Above that we have, I'll go from the far right, Mushoku Tensei, the greatest isekai to ever exist. Period. I made a video on why I really like Mushoku Tensei. It just watching Rudius try to redeem himself from just a piece of trash is incredible. Like, you'll never be able to forgive Rudius. He did some really messed up crap, like horrible things. But actively seeing literally one of the worst human beings on the planet try to become a better person is just very entertaining. Like, to this day, we can, like, anybody who knows the story of Mushoku Tensei can never forgive Rudius, because in his past life he did some horrible things, like horrible, some of the worst things amongst worst things. But it's still interesting to see this trash of a human being try to become somebody that's good. He's never, like, even though he does redeem himself and he becomes a better person, and he is actively living the life of a better person, nobody can forgive him or say that he is good because of his past and what he did in his past. But it's still a fun journey to watch.
That's interesting. So, like, do you think there's a certain point where he could do enough to redeem himself? No. Yeah? There's just no amount.
Timestamp?
Right now? Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, that's the first chapter.
Yeah, okay, that's what it, okay.
That's I say, like, even though, like, he becomes a better person, he isn't as perverted. He stops himself and he realizes he's gone too far down the scum route, and he becomes essentially a good, normal person. You can't forgive him.
How old is he when it happens? Is he like? Yeah.
Okay.
How old is he by the end of the series? Same age, or is there any significant?
Well, by the end of the light novel, or by, like, the end of season 1?
Just by the very end.
By the end of season 1, he's 10. He goes backwards in time because he gets reborn. It's an isekai.
Oh god, this is possibly worse.
Yeah.
So you're putting a predator in a 10-year-old's body. God, that is awful.
And that's where the story begins, and he does still show those tendencies, but he, like, you watch him, like, become essentially a better person. But like I said, you can never truly forgive him because of how horrible things he did.
Wait, I gotta see. What's his name? I gotta see if he's like. I think I have like a picture in my head of the 3 main characters.
Rudius Grey Rat.
How do you spell it?
Rudius Grey Rat.
Rudius.
Oh, how do you spell it?
No, wait, never mind. It's here. Perfect. It's here. I got it. Oh, so he's him.
Yeah.
He's really like the main guy.
He's the main character of the series.
Holy shit! And he, oh my god, I'm kind of freaking out a little bit.
If he wants to check it out.
No, I don't. Oh my god, this is fucking. This is weird. I just feel like I had this completely different conception of the show. Like all I knew was that it displayed like some. I knew people thought it was like very morally reprehensible, but to know like all the context behind what I thought was just this innocent face initially, to know that he's like the reincarnation of like a scumbag. I'm like, oh my goodness, like this is kind of nutty.
But I will tell you, the story is amazing and Rudius's development is great. It's just I can't, like, when I say like he becomes a better person, he really truly does. It's just you can't forgive him because of what happened. Like, he's still a scumbag by heart, even though he's changed as an individual.
So if he changed as an individual by the end of the series, and he's been reborn, is he still a scumbag? I don't know.
It's all a question of morals.
I'm wondering, like, I wish it's kind of interesting to know like how the fans kind of talk and discuss this idea. I don't know, it's so fucking strange, man. The intricacies that isekai bring into the question of moral responsibility and development. It's like, damn, bro's been reborn.
60-year-old Rudius would never do what 40 like the 40-year-old from his previous life would have done. Like, he would never do that. He realized why he was wrong there and the issues with that. But that doesn't mean that he should be forgiven for it. Even if he's actively worked and done like everything he can to try to redeem himself and become a better person, you can't forgive him because
I learned a lot today.
Yeah.
Very useful stuff.
Anyways, thank you for the enlightening discussion. I had no idea, so.
Of
Now
But
I feel a
that's
little
why I
more
like
filled in.
Mushoku Tensei because of how that you see an absolute scumbag attempt to improve himself and redeem himself, even if you know by heart he can never truly do it. You kind of start to like root for him to try to improve himself, like as time goes on, which is like the weird part. You'll understand it like when you watch it, if you watch it.
It kind of reminds me a bit of the manga I mentioned on the previous episode, and I guess I'll mention on the next, which is Masturbation Master Kurosawa, because that's also it's sorry, yeah, it is. It's a dumb name, but yeah, it's kind of like it's a little bit different because it was kind of forced to do the things, but and it's I guess like comparable is of course not as bad because what he does is he masturbates to his classmates' clothes essentially when they're not wearing it. It's still a horrible act, but it's not comparable.
Yeah.
So
It's yeah, it's the same thing as Ava because like in Ava, Shinji does the ending. But like it's still like as horrible as what he did was, it's also not as bad as what Grey Rat did.
Yeah, I mean the thing with the Grey Rat is like the power dynamic, right?
It's terrible. But yeah, it's a really good story, and Rudius's development is incredible. Same for the other side characters. But I totally like somebody who doesn't want to watch it and gets uncomfortable easily. Like I would say, never watch it because it's definitely not a show for everyone.
Damn, I thought the show was gonna be like Bofree or like Shield Hero or something. Like I don't know, it just looked like generic isekai to me, like video game fantasy isekai. So I was kind of like running through the list of anime that you mentioned like that on your top 100. I kind of forgot about Mukbang Tensei.
It's the grandfather of isekai actually. Most isekais are inspired by Mushoku Tensei.
Really?
That's all I know about it, or all I knew, I guess, about it.
Now you know a lot more.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
Yeah, this is a net positive.
It's kind of like there's a lot of stories where like a lot of messed up stuff happens, but what's interesting is seeing how the characters overcome that. Like
True. Like
And
Judayuki.
I consume a lot of those stories. So.
Yuki, he's been through a lot.
Yeah.
Like his first card, like that's really
Mm-hmm.
it hit.
Edo Phoenix's parents die. That's kind of crazy. You gotta get over that.
Exactly. To the left of Mushoku Tensei. I don't know how much you'll cut out of that. I'll try and make it like PG-13.
I think there's a lot you can salvage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was a pretty good discussion.
To the left of that is Violet Evergarden. I've said too many reasons why I love Violet Evergarden. Like countless. One, it's absolutely magnificently beautiful.
Sadly, it's over animated, so sucks, I guess. It's just objectively bad. It's overly animated, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's overly animated. It's so overly animated. It doesn't need to be that animated for real.
Oh god, they should have simplified it more.
Crash, it's a common argument used against Violet Evergarden by the community. They're like, oh, it's overly animated.
Yeah.
It's like the same argument. I know. Don't ask me.
I interesting that I hear something similar for Travis Barker, Blink-182. They say he overdrums. I think maybe there's something comparable in the two, where maybe you could say that like relative to the simplicity of other parts of Blink, Travis is just doing too much. Maybe that's a little too overwhelming for everything else. I don't think that's a good take at all, but I think that's what they're doing with the critique that it's over animated.
Not to necessarily agree with that, but I can understand the argument of over drumming because it can kind of ruin the song. I guess if the drums can like overshadow the rest, depending on the songs. I love a band called I like Lightning Rainbow. I think that's the name. They are just insane. Like it just drums like smashing, and I love it. But I can understand how like that would not be fun for some people. But over animated, just what does that mean?
Yeah, science is still trying to figure out what the fuck that means. Maybe it's the idea that there's just too much movement and details in the animation that it distracts from the more substantive aspects. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out myself.
The first thing I think when I think of over animated over that is like Akira, where every little like character, there's like tons of them into every single panel, and or I don't. I just love it. I just love I think the Akira manga is so much better than the anime, but the animation makes the anime such a good watch, anyways.
Yeah, I don't understand what the fuck it means. I'm starting to wonder if it's even a serious critique or if it's not some kind of deeply entrenched in irony sort of comment. I can't tell anymore. I feel like I've unironically seen it though, but I also can't tell if they're being ironic or not. I feel like, I don't know. Anime online is strange and you shouldn't talk about it.
No.
That's my conclusion. The podcast is now over because we're not allowed to talk about anime ever again. Okay, just joking. I derailed like crazy.
Yeah. Violet Evergarden, she finds out what the meaning of love is. She finds out what emotions are. I love how, like, I really like stories where there's human characters, where characters who aren't human start to become human. Like, Violet is a human being, but she's been trained and indoctrinated to not realize she's a human being, to think she's like this emotionless doll that's like this tool for war. Mm-hmm. And the entire story is about her becoming normal and recognizing her emotions. But she was a tool for war. Mm-hmm. She killed thousands. She has that guilt on her as soon as she realizes exactly what she's done. And I love how the Colonel puts out, he's like, when you realize, you're on fire, but you don't realize that you're burning. Because she hadn't realized her emotions yet. And it is just so brilliant in how it's illustrated throughout the story. I haven't seen the movie, I've only seen the anime. But the anime was so freaking brilliant. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
No, I agree. Though I think I normally am a little more critical of that trope in anime. Because I feel like it can be done so poorly. And maybe when I first watched Violet Evergarden, I wasn't convinced that it had done that much to set itself apart. But I don't know, the more I look back on it, I look at it a little more favorably. So I guess my fear with like the, you know, I'm a robot, but I'm becoming human kind of trope is essentially what it is. I don't know. I just feel like it's so easy to just be kind of corny, like in Vivi, Fluorite Eyes or whatever. I thought that was such a corny approach to the whole bit. It was also just confused about what kind of show it wanted it to be, if it wanted to be an action, if it wanted to be kind of fucking more drama based. It was such a mess. I think Pluto actually, of all the kind of stories I've done, do the robots wanting to be humans best, because it's very subtle in Pluto. You have scenes of like Adam talking to Gestalt or whatever about how he just tries to like imitate them behaviorally, and even though he's only grasping at like external meaning of what it is to like be human, he's kind of like inferring backwards, like on the basis of like just his little things, like, you know, I see these other people smile when this situation occurs. So even though they're like computationally approaching it, which might not be very human, they do kind of like move backwards from that, which I think they just do it so brilliantly. And there's this big thing in philosophy too about the use theory of language, but it's essentially that the meaning of the word is just the context in which it's regularly used. And I think Adam's like getting at that exactly. Just learning, like, when the situation arises, this is how I kind of respond to it. And that is really the meaning of it. He just doesn't get the sense underlying it. But he works, I don't know, I think Pluto does it so brilliantly, but... Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen it. But with like, Violet Evergarden, like, I love the scenes with, like, how she has, like, that breakdown, sure. But I feel like a lot of the time, like you said, like, this trope is done a lot of the time. It's done a lot of the time poorly. Violet Evergarden is an example where I think it was done brilliantly into it's one of its best. But like, I feel like a lot of the time, like, the character like starts breaking down crying, and like, I'm usually not the biggest fan of that. I really like it in Violet Evergarden because she was quite literally like a monster before, you know? So like, it actually hit as she was tearing up a lot more than other stories might have. I also really like how Bleach does it with Ukiura, because Ukiura doesn't have that like mental breakdown when it happens. He realizes it, and it hits when he realizes it. But you don't see the scene of him crying because he's dying, like he's turning to dust as he realizes what emotions are. So yeah, those are like, I think Violet and Yukio are my two favorite examples. Like I think that those two examples are better than Miriam, for example, which goes through a similar thing. Which is gonna be a very, very hot take. I can already see Cream's like fuming.
Yeah, I also don't like Miriam's take on the I was mindless ant who now love little girl. You know, like I don't know. I'm not sold into it.
I like it. I think like he's a great character and all. I just think like
stupid bug. Hate him. Get him out. Get him out of my fucking show.
I think before Nedro used the Nuki, like he was great. And I feel like everything afterwards just feels kind of dumb to me. And like it's like I understand where it's coming from a writing perspective, but it just becomes like, to me it feels counterproductive, and I just didn't find it as interesting as before, if that makes sense. But yeah. Anyway.
Wait. What was counterproductive about it? I'm kind of curious. I was just.
I just don't think. I think like Miriam had hit like the peak of his character, and we didn't need to go backwards. That makes sense. I think if anything, I would have preferred Miriam just dying right then and there, and that being the conclusion to his character, because I love how it concluded. Like that would have been the perfect conclusion, but him coming back just felt like, I don't know. Like again, I think it's well written. It's totally like I love it when a character goes backwards and then to only go forwards again. I think that can be great. I just felt like Miriam hit his peak in like character writing when he died.
That's fair. Also, I just realized I'm like pushing you on this point, and in my head I'm like, oh fuck, Crash doesn't know anything about Hunter x Hunter, and we're low key spoiling him on all this. I'm like shit.
Yep, Miriam dies and then he comes back.
Yeah, like noted. I don't know. I feel like it's very difficult to avoid Hunter x Hunter spoilers.
I used to be really good at avoiding spoilers, but then I made a Twitter account, which sucks.
Yeah.
If I didn't use the Twitter account to promote my YouTube channel, I would just delete it. If I ever stop like doing YouTube, I'll just delete the Twitter account.
Damn. Tell me you don't like a little bit of shit post on the Twitter?
Oh no!
I love trolling people.
I love a little shit post on the Twitter.
I was so much happier before I had like before I had a Twitter account. Yeah, before Saw, yeah. That like, but like Saw is not even for everything that happened. Saw is not even like the person who pissed me off the most. Like, well, I mean, it did when he started like accusing me of being, I don't know, creating an opinion squad with Doofy and Broken Roarin, and just going after people and something like that.
Policing opinions or something.
Yeah, like that pissed me off because he was so genuine about it.
And he was the one that was policing opinions too.
Yeah.
That was the funny part of it. Like he was the one that was calling people out on like having a different opinion, saying that you're not allowed to have that opinion because it ain't objective.
Yeah. Like I forget, but like there's so much more. My problem with Twitter is that there's little things that pisses me off like slowly over the day, like with the community, like people I don't know, I don't interact, but I see like their posts and the way that they interact with stuff, like I don't know, it just annoys me, and just I'm more miserable at the end of the day just because of Twitter than I was before. That's how I feel. Like I didn't interact with community. Like I interacted with like 2 Discord channels, and sure, sometimes it will be like a bad day, and it'll be like annoying, and some would try to dox another, and that was the moderator, so I'd have to do something. Those were tiring days, but for the most part, like like just a group of people like talking about manga was fun. Twitter is not fun for the most part. Like sometimes it is, like sometimes it is really fun, but generally it's not.
Trolling is fun. My issue with Twitter is because I make misconception videos on Bleach, I get tagged a lot on Twitter. So I get tagged all the time on Twitter. There's a few times where I'm okay with it. Like I'm like chill about it. But like there's other times where like people will be like losing an argument with like a Bleach hater, and they'll be like, "Oh, just ask at Emperor POXAL. He'll tell you. He'll explain the situation to you."
Clutch. I love it.
And when I see that, I just ignore them. I'm like, I'm not helping you get out of this. Like I know
Yeah.
how to. I know exactly how to argue. I have to like, with the amount of stuff I get tagged in, I have to actively tell myself, you joining this argument, despite the fact that you are right in the situation. Because a lot of the time it's like the most dumb misconceptions. It's like Rin started the war. Rin was the reason why Obito started the war. Like
Yeah.
stuff as dumb as that. A lot of the time I have to actively tell myself, you joining in and correcting them, their opinion is not going to change. So don't waste your time.
Yeah.
Like there's so many times I have to tell myself that. So like the few times that you do see me on Twitter like replying to people, think of that as like literally like 0.01% of the time I could reply to people and start debating with people, because I lose control very few times where I'll actually respond to stuff like that, because I'm like, I know what's right here. I don't need to like debate you, and it's just gonna turn into you thinking that you're right and me thinking I'm right. Like that's gonna be what this is boiled down to. That's Twitter.
Yeah.
Unless it's Sod, then I'll always engage in mess at that point.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, dude.
So did quote retweet one tweet of mine. I don't remember. I think it was a tweet where I talked about like that I was doing the manga magazine video recently, and he just quoted it saying well, and then he deleted the quotes. So
What the fuck?
I don't know what that was about.
I actually unblocked him a little while ago. I'm just curious to see if he'll ever come back around.
I've tagged him once and said, "How are you doing at Sod?" And then he said, "Shut the f up! I'm on my break."
I did see he was on his break. I do keep track of all my.
It was like he like called me an a-hole when I was asking him how his day was going or something. I don't even remember what he said. He was just like, "I'm on my break. Can you not bother me?"
Like, bro, just don't log on the app.
Jesus.
Like,
Yeah,
damn.
like and now I know you're not on your break because you're literally logging in and responding.
Yeah, you're still lurking. I think though I have to add one more point on this Twitter thing, because my issue with Twitter is myself, bro. I'm the fucking problem, okay? I'm pointing the hand at myself this time, because like I think just a part of my personality is like this kind of playfulness where I like to just fuck around, and you know, it's called we do a bit of trolling. And if you've been in my Discord, gosh, I'm so sorry you've been in there. But I mean, that's just kind of like the vibe in there, and that's, I think, probably because I foster a community that is reflective of myself in some sense. We're very argumentative, but also just like to have a bit of fun. And I think I see a lot of that in my tweets. The only problem is I, on the same profile, will at once give like just some dog shit like take that I just think is funny, but I'll also try to voice like my serious opinions. And I think for people that don't know me well enough, those just become blurred into one. And I think the pinnacle of that, and this was my biggest mistake on Twitter, was during my One Piece era, where I just posted one joking post about POXAL'S, and that absolutely discredited me entirely. Because I posted the one joke post. It did not go very well thereafter. People were just assuming that everything I did was for interactions, or like my Fishman Island was just to kind of like troll One Piece fans, when I think I was pretty dead ass. But
I feel like that is kind of like a thing. Like sometimes you just like do a tweet with your opinion for your followers, and of course with Twitter it spreads, and everyone thinks like you're just trolling. I remember because I said I liked the villains of My Hero Academia more than the villains of Naruto. In one of those like compare these two like with a bunch of stuff. I just said like villains 2 points MAJ. That was the only thing I said. I got tagged by Storm, I think, which is a guy with like 7K followers.
Not that fucking bot of a Naruto fan.
This guy, yeah. Then people are like, oh, you got ratioed. Yeah, of course I got ratioed. He has 7K followers.
Yeah.
It'd be fucking amazing if I wasn't.
Yeah, dude. Oh, he's such a bot. I blocked all those big bot accounts if they didn't already block me, because they really just like ruined my morale on Twitter. Because like, I don't know. I mean, as someone who likes to fuck around, I can appreciate their commitment to the bit. Like Storm, and I'm just because that's the only name drop. I'm gonna limit it to that. But yeah, I think it's overwhelmingly like obnoxious. And I mean, hey, I think people probably think that of me too, and maybe I am. But yeah, that's why we made the block button.
But I hate why some people think like when you block somebody, you're saying that they're right. That's not what I'm doing. It's just me saying I'm not gonna waste my time on you.
Literally, like I learned that very quickly during the One Piece fiasco. I'm just like, I gain nothing out of talking to you. Block. I'd like over the course of like 1 month, my block list went up by like I think almost 100 users. Like it was insane. I was just like, I literally am just a happier person if I don't see these, so I'm just blocking you. Like I don't want to talk to you. But like also there were a few times where you've probably noticed like I've replied to every comment like on every one of my YouTube videos, every single one, because I like a part of the reason why I even started YouTube was to like have these conversations. And I still love them. And like with Sod, at times the only way I would stop replying to him is if I blocked him, because he would keep replying with the same like one-liner that he's been relying on, and I would try to re-explain myself in another way to try and get through to him, and he would not buy it, and then he'd just copy and paste another one of his, EFAP one-liners, and to literally stop myself, I would block him. I've done that to so many people. I think I've done that to Antonio also. If you're watching this, Antonio, you real one. We have such a crazy fucking history of relationships, but he's also one of those like relentless, I will just keep replying to you, and I think there were a few times where I had to block him to stop myself from replying. I don't remember what it was about. I really wish I could remember.
Antonio is fun.
I do love me some Antonio. Yeah. I do love me.
Yeah. We smoking that Antonio.
We on the Antonio back tonight for real. We love you, Antonio, for real. Even if I'm gonna block you a few more times in the future, probably I still love you. It's for myself, okay, and it's for yourself as well.
I've kind of learned with me and Antonio is pick and choose my arguments or the debates I have with him, because I've known Antonio for years now, like 2 or 3 years at this point. We've debated a lot. We've disagreed on a lot of stuff, and it usually boils down to me saying I agree to disagree with you, and then me not replying to the next post or the next reply, or either him agreeing and us just mutually saying that we're not going to continue the debate. Like Antonio's a real one. He's a legend. I hope that he starts his YouTube channel soon. And I know as soon as he does, I'm going to push it for him. But yeah.
I will say really one more quickly on the topic of Twitter. I think this is a great tangent, by the way. I have also just learned to develop certain like red flags for people not to engage with. So like for instance, if I see Obito started the war over a girl he fell in love with all these years, like I'm like, okay, I don't have to talk to you. Like I just know that's where you are with the like your understanding of the series. There's no point for me. Or like if I see like Sakura is useless on its own, I think there are good arguments for it. I don't like them. They trigger me. Okay, I love Sakura, but if I just see Sakura as useless, I'm probably gonna write you off also, unless you're gonna follow it with something. So I've just developed like a list of certain takes that I think are like so bot like that I'm not going to even bother with it, even though it's like I so at such a fundamental level hate them.
I never engage with arguments. Very rarely, I guess, I engage with people. Sometimes I look at them and like, fuck you, but I never engage. It's just a waste of time. Especially like if it's someone that I interact with normally. Like if I see like one of you two like saying something that I disagree, I'll interact. But it's like, I don't know, like a random person on the internet, just saying One Piece Smith. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I've learned my lesson to not reply. Like I see so many posts every day, so people saying like Waco Mundo and Soul Society are the exact same arc.
Yeah.
People just hit copy and paste.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just gonna ignore this. Or Hime is useless. Like, obviously, you've come from a completely different standpoint. Sometimes I'll reply to the tweet with a link to my video for the free view.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah. But I'll never like engage with them anymore. Or if I do, it's like a rare situation. It's like I said, because that 0.01% got by. Like, because I've been ignoring it for so long. I'm like, I'm just done ignoring this. I'll just reply this one time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think
you just know your like discussion isn't gonna go anywhere, you know?
Exactly. And the other thing is like, just realistically, what do I gain out of convincing another person that my story isn't as bad as they thought? You know what I mean? Like, I think I'm confident enough in my taste that it's like I could be the only one that likes any of these anime on my 9x or my 3x3, and that wouldn't change how much I loved it. Like, It's my relationship to it, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I think the
Exactly.
intuition is that if people hate on what you like, I think we tend to identify with the things we like, and so for somebody to say Naruto's mid, I think a gut reaction is to like lash out at them because that's like an extension of me. My tastes reflect who I am in some basic sense, so I feel like I'm being attacked, but I just don't care. Like I'm not that insecure about my taste anymore. Maybe when I was younger, but now I'm like, fuck it. I like Naruto. Say whatever you want about it. It's still the best.
Yeah.
What the things that sometimes get me more pissed is when someone says like, this thing is better, and it's a thing that I just cannot even fathom. Like my brain cannot even process like what side, like Sunshine, which is the guy on my server. I probably didn't reach this far, but if you are watching this, he posted today, I think, or yesterday, like Sonic Boom is better than Sonic Generations. Which,
Craziness.
I don't know if you guys play
Craziness.
Sonic, but it's like how did you even read? Like, what process was in your brain? Like, I can't even argue because it's just like, how have you reached that conclusion? Like, one is like, to me, it is so obviously superior. It's just like I cannot understand that opinion.
Does he?
And there's no point to like discuss because like they just come from a different perspective. You have to
Yeah.
I have to accept it.
You from your perspective is like I can't understand this. Them from their perspective, they're like, frick yeah, I'm right. I'm objective.
Yeah.
Well, like
know?
maybe they get a
Sonic-
lot of fun out of like the glitchiness of Boom. I could see that
What he-
honestly being a good
what he-
take.
What he
Sonic-
said he doesn't like Sonic. Yeah.
Sonic 06 is the best Sonic game.
I like the story of Sonic 06.
I liked its ambition.
But other than that, it was just. But what he said is that he doesn't like the Sonic the Boost games, I guess,
That makes sense.
which is mostly the more modern. I like them, but I also should tell us to kind of rush things up because I should have stopped like 9 minutes ago,
okay,
and
true.
we still need 4 to go.
Right. Erased, one of the greatest stories ever written. One of the best manga endings. One of the best dynamics. One of the best stories. Cool time travel. Cool character moments when KO cries. It hits so deep that you want to cry. Has my favorite moment in all of anime. I'm not gonna say it because Crash hasn't read/watched it. In the manga, the moment sucks, but in the anime, the moment is amazing. Because the manga is just like a single panel, whereas in the anime, it's like a 2-minute scene, which makes it hit a lot deeper, especially with the music. Which is why I recommend watching the first 10 episodes and then switching to the manga. But yeah, Erase 10 out of 10. It's for real. Like people like to roast the ending, but like I'm sorry. I know I gotta rush. I'm gonna move.
No,
on
it's
it.
fine.
Um,
I
people
feel
roast-
bad for rushing you guys.
Erased gets its ending rushed. Gets
Like
its ending
ours.
roasted a lot. The
Like our
anime
ending.
version.
This is relatable. I'm relating to Erased right now.
Yeah, exactly. You're relating to Bleach too.
Hopefully not the anime though.
So yeah, Erased pretty good, solid. I bought the manga. It's literally one of my favorite stories of all time. I love it. I die for Erased. Honestly, it hit me really deeply emotionally, and it impacted me a lot. I'm not gonna say anything about FMA Brotherhood because I kind of said that already in Doofy's section, or on High School Host Club. Brilliant. It changed my perspective on human beings as a whole, and it's rare for someone to be able to do that. Which is something big. It's also comedically genius. I would talk about it for another 2 hours, but obviously we don't have that kind of time.
Maybe it's
And
another
then,
day.
and then Code Geass, I already spoke about this in the last episode when I brought up Lelouch. C2 is also amazing. I love everything Code Geass. It's amazing. Fourth, my favorite anime of all time. But yeah, I've talked about enough.
Then?
Code Geass is my favorite anime.
Oh, it's your favorite. I heard fourth. I was
Yes,
confused.
it's my fourth favorite series, but it's my favorite anime.
Okay, gotcha.
Because
gotcha.
my number 1, 2, and 3 are all manga. Speaking of which, Vinland Saga Season 2 might take that. I just didn't put Vinland Saga here because the manga is on my manga list.
Yeah, it's not on mine, but it should be. I just stopped watching it, reading it so long ago. I need to go back. I didn't want to put there.
Fair.
But yeah, I guess that's next episode. Manga.
Yeah.
Because we just wasted what 3 hours talking about the anime.
3 hours talking about like.
To be fair, half hour was like
Yeah.
talking about fake Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and another half hour was talking about how shitty we are on Twitter. So
Oh,
Yeah. We are the best. This is the best podcast.
the off-topic
For sure.
podcast.
Yeah.
Our tangents are low-key the best, though.
You know, before I called my channel Manga Crash, I thought about calling it Manga Tangent because when I normally speak, I just go on random tangents. But since 99% of my videos are scripted, it didn't make much sense. But yeah, this is the Manga Tangent.
this is the manga tangent. All right.
Changing the big three name. Big three. Manga tangents.
Yeah.
Anyway, Crash, you gotta close this out. You're
Close
our
it up.
host.
Oh yeah, I'm the host. So sorry for axing the podcast earlier. But thanks for watching, and please watch our next videos and subscribe and like and do all the things, and bye.
This has been POXAL, Crash, and Naru Luffy.
Not Roofy, you mean? Please.
Luffy.
All right.
Luffy.
Good night.